Okay, that's Street Talk. Welcome to Street Talk. Hello, is this Street Talk?
Yes, it is. We've got to get on with it and hurry up because I've got to go-karting with Dev and RD soon.
Well, I wanted to introduce our special guest, actually. We've got the latest star of a Coronation Street, Elsie, here to give her wide and varied opinions on this week's Coronation Street. What did you have to say about it, Elsie? Thank you very much. I look forward to hearing the rest of your opinions as the show goes on. So, Gemma,
when you're that cute, you don't need to speak.
She was bloody cute, wasn't she? Wasn't Elsie the best? I love her.
She's very adorable.
I think she was. She's one of those Corrie children that is just gets you just like that. But yeah, she didn't have very much to say for herself. Maybe next week, because that's how we know that it wasn't her that dobbed Sabine in to the judge man. Who's Sabine's boss?
The
bar.
The bar
bloke.
Chamberman.
Yeah, I think
her
so.
head of the bar.
I think it's really cool, and I love how she's called Elsie because that's like the Corriest name that anybody could ever give a child, isn't it?
I know, yeah.
Oh, I think it's amazing.
But
what?
Like I've said, there's a lot to live up to with that name. I'm confused, honestly.
If they'd have made her a redhead and called her Elsie,
I don't know if this child is going to be in the show. I mean, to be honest, she seems.
It's not like she's got a stable home life at the moment, is it, with Imran and Toyah?
All the foster children that Toyah and Imran are getting seem very temporary, and she's only 4. It's just really weird. It is like
Toyah told Imran at the end that when Elsie goes, he's going. So I can only assume they think that she's only there for a short period of time as well. But I don't know. She was cute. I would keep her on the show. But who knows? I think there's more that those two need to be worrying about at the moment than Elsie. Anyway, what have we got storyline wise this week?
Tell you what, I just want to say one more thing. Toyah putting together that princess palace by herself with German instructions.
Yeah, sehr gut.
We could have used her around here when we were putting that IKEA stuff together. You definitely could have done. I just left you to it.
I put 2 bedside tables together, Gemma. There weren't even any written instructions.
But the thing, that there is a pile of stuff that you said you couldn't work out where it went, which is worrying.
There are a few leftover bits and bobs. It's always
do
the same
that,
when
you know that, don't you?
DIY,
no, it isn't. You're supposed to put all the bits in.
Right, story Gemma. I've got some terrible storyline titles for this week. Are you ready for my awful ones? So first off, it's really difficult. The stories were clearly leading up and merging and all twisty-turnying, weren't they, this week before Super Soap Week? So it was hard to separate them into different ones. I've done my best. I'm going to start off with the Abby storyline. We did get a suggestion from our Facebook group that is Abby Get Your Gun, which is a play on Debbie. No, it's not
Annie.
Debbie Get Your Annie. I don't know. I'm
Debbie
not
Get Your Gun.
What's Annie? It's a musical, isn't it? Annie Get Your Gun. Is that a musical?
Ask someone else.
Ask Charlie DeMello. He loves musicals. Did you hear him?
Yeah, he does.
Did you hear him singing about yogurt and Cocoa Pops in tonight's episode? No, is it? I'll go with that. But I wanted to also call it. Last week what did we call it? Oh, last week we called it I'll Be Missing You, didn't we? And this week I wanted to call it I'll Be Back. Because she's back in Weatherfield, everybody, and she's all ready to go shooting and blowing people's brains out. So we've got that one first, and then we have got
spitting on their corpses.
Spitting on their corpses, yeah. Extortion is next, which we had as a storyline titled last week for Sabine's blackmailing of the lovely Imran. That
backfired, didn't it?
Right, here's my next storyline title. So this is the Leo and Jenny storyline.
See what you've written. I've got no idea how you're going to say this.
Leo de Janeiro. I don't know what the robot is. Leo de Janeiro. You know what that's supposed to be. I don't know. That's rubbish, isn't it? You think of a better one. Don't give me that look. Right, we've also got the salon sell-off. That's all right, isn't it? Because they're selling off the salon to Natasha. Yeah. And I've mingled that one up with what's going on with the Alahans, because Dev's clearly got the hots for Natasha for some reason. Not for some reason. I mean, he seems there seems to be a bit of an age gap that nobody's mentioned yet.
Age gaps mean nothing on this show.
The Alahan part of the storyline called Alahan Caravan.
Not
a caravan, it's a chalet. No. We had a tiny bit of the character's profile story, which was fairly unnecessary this week, and. I was just looking at Gemma's reaction.
I know, sometimes the only section of this that would benefit from being videoed is this bit where you read the...
So this is the story where Hashim is trying to get money out of Zidane, yeah?
Yeah.
And have Zidane payment, please.
Like the down
yes,
payment.
Yes, this has a down payment. Oh. Yeah. Okay,
No,
whatever. Gemma, can you talk about I'll be back, and then I'll do the extortion bit, because there's lots to talk about with this one this week, and I am pretty mad. But I'm in a kind of good mood this evening, so I don't know whether it's going to get a full-on rant from me. I don't know whether it's worth it for the drama, because what I did enjoy about this week's episodes is how it's building up very nicely to Super Soap Week, which I'm not as spoiler-free from as much as I would like to be, but I am fairly spoiler-free. How would you kind of rank yourself? If we had 1 is I know absolutely nothing that's happening next week, and 10 is I've read the scripts basically and seen preview tapes, which one day we're going to get preview tapes. We've been doing this podcast
No,
for 10
they don't
years
even
now.
have them though, do they?
What do you mean?
They don't have preview tapes.
I think they do. I think they.
No, they don't.
I think they do. I think they.
No, they
Why
don't.
not
They
tapes?
don't.
Stream
They
them or
don't.
whatever. Why do you think that?
Because they don't. I don't think they do.
I think they do. Anyway, how's
What if they do? Where's ours?
exactly that? Well, how spoiled are you? I would put myself at about 3, maybe for next week.
I reckon I'm a 2 because I've seen a headline.
Yeah.
And then I've seen a couple of pictures.
I've seen a head.
Oh, and I've seen another thing.
I've seen
as
a
well.
headline that's a bit vague. I've seen one definite picture. Yeah. No, I've seen 2 pictures, I think, from next week.
Sorry.
And then I've quickly scrolled past some others, but they didn't really tell me very much. And also knowing who some of the main players are next week, which is making me have theories.
Our spoiler-free policy is biting us on the bum.
Why?
Because I think we would get a lot more listeners if we did spoilers. Not that I ever want to turn our backs on the people that are listening now and who don't like spoilers. And it makes it very difficult in situations like this where the show clearly wants us to go into the week with some expectations, and I wonder how much they're banking on misdirection, perhaps, that we completely miss out on. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
How much of the enjoyment of soaps is actually fueled by spoilers? Don't know, because we don't.
Lots of people would say an awful lot of it.
Of what?
Of their enjoyment is fueled by spoilers. Because I know we've got some listeners who love a good spoiler.
But we hope that we kind of can. What's the word? Kind of simulate that by having theories and coming up with predictions.
Yeah, and there's things like, there's a gun on Coronation Street this week. Someone's going to get shot next. Was that an actual slip of the tongue? Someone's going to get shot next week. Fine. And I do not know who it is, but we can still theorise about that.
It's going to be...
week, Harvey wants to get out of prison. I think, maybe...
Statistically speaking, the person who's going to get shot is Abby.
Statistically speaking, the person who's going to get out of prison is Faye. No, it's Harvey. Faye's loving it.
No, that would be brilliant if Faye just turned up. Like, they let me out early. Did anyone... Sorry. Oh, Tim. Oh, no. Sorry, Tim.
You would love that, wouldn't you?
And Tim would go, oh.
Gemma, I'm sorry to say that I think Tim is going to live to...
Tim would go
in another day.
I don't care. She used to put barbecue sauce on sausage sandwiches. She's no child of mine.
Come on. Abby, she's back on Monday morning, isn't she? After being missing for she appeared at the end of last week's episode.
You don't need to introduce my bit. Let me say it. On Monday, Abby comes back just in time to make Kevin his breakfast. What a lucky...
He's even sleeping on the sofa, isn't he? He walks in the kitchen door. Abby, I'm starving. Make me beans and sausages. I can't even get up to give you a hug. Abby, come on.
Abby, I've got no clean pants. My socks stink.
Abby, I'm living in filth.
And she wades across the floor and there's a rattling of cans and plastic bags because there's an inch of filth on the floor.
This is what happens when you leave Kevin for 3 weeks, is it now?
And Jack's just huddled in the corner of his bedroom with this encroaching tide of rubbish just overwhelming him. Anyway, she says, look, I've just been trying to clear my head. I've missed you. I've missed Jack so much. Sorry I took the money. I didn't use it for drugs. I'll pay you back. And he said, the issue is that we were going to spend that on the wedding. But but maybe we don't need it anymore. And she's like, no, I love you. I still love you. Kevin sees Debbie in the street and tells her Abby's back, and she's chuffed, but she's a bit miffed that Abby had not been in contact with him previously.
Yes.
Kevin sees... Oh, no. Imran admits to Adam...
Oh, see, this is the wrong storyline here, isn't it? Yeah, look at this.
Shall I read that, or do you want to copy and paste it?
I'll just remember later. So I knew this would happen. This is what happens when the stories cross over too much. Coronation Street. Just carry on. I'm not editing this.
No, all right. Okay. The Websters, shut up, are in the bistro later, and Kevin reveals to Jack about Abby's being back, and he's like, hooray. Kevin also tells Debbie about wanting to get the wedding organisation back on track, and Debbie seems a bit cautious about this. The word chuffed, is that like a slang everywhere? Because I only just realised that mush as meaning face is only a southern thing.
I think chuffed is a British thing, isn't it?
Yeah, sometimes we use slang on the show, and I don't know.
I think people who watch Coronation Street they understand British slang. Chuffed off, that means something different, and I've just chuffed also means something else. Ashley, I've just chuffed. I say I've just chuffed.
I'm not chuffed about that.
The guy's so versatile, that word.
I know. Meanwhile, Abby's meeting with Tez, who's a bit chuffed when he hears... No, not really. He's unnerved that Kevin's been talking to the police. So Tez is Seb's dad and Abby's ex, who knew that Kevin was finding out where she was, yeah?
Yeah.
He hands her over a wrapped up gun that she's obviously asked him to get for her.
Yeah, but this guy, are we sure it's a gun, Gemma? I'm not sure whether Corrie made it obvious enough for us throughout this episode that this wrapped up bent parcel is actually, of course it's a gun. She's
maybe
constantly
it's a really lopsided boomerang.
Unwrapping it and wrapping it back up again. It's like, no, it's not a banana.
But this is like when I buy shoes. I'm like, oh, I'll look at them again.
I suppose so, isn't it? Like, I spent the $2,000 on this.
I've never spent $2,000 on a pair of shoes. If I did, I definitely would treat them exactly the same as Abby did. Never wear them.
Yeah, no, they did make it exceedingly obvious.
I want to know.
It's reminding the audience, even back up to today, like, just unwrapping it. A gun, look everybody, hold it to the camera. I brought a gun. This is what I've got for show and tell today. Wrap it up, someone's about to come in and see me.
I've spoken about Peep Show before on the podcast. It's hilarious. It's one of my favourite shows. But whenever I see Abby with this gun, I remember there's an episode where I think one of their aunts dies or something, and they find a gun in her house, and they get obsessed with it, and they call it Gunny, and they keep like walking around the flat with it, like being all hard and holding Gunny, and like, it's my turn with Gunny, I want to hold Gunny.
Whereas on Coronation Street, Gunny is what the cast members call Peter Gunn, isn't it?
Yeah, it is actually. That brings a whole new meaning to Abby stared at Gunny. She's got this gun. She's paid $2,000 for it. She's forgotten to get ammunition, it looks like. But she's very...
Wouldn't that be annoying?
Like, click,
Corrie,
click.
I'm going to blow your brains out.
She hasn't told...
Yes, Casio.
Oh. She doesn't know how to use it, does she? Because you got to do... You got to do... Yeah, but you got to do the thing.
It's just like shooting up heroin, isn't it?
Is this going to be like in an action film where the little ingenue gets the gun and trying to protect her buff man who's just been knocked down, and gets the baddie in her sights and then pulls the trigger and he goes, "Aha, you've forgotten about the safety."
No.
And then she goes, "Oh no, I've got to... What's the safety? Where's that? I don't even know."
It's a little thing you go...
I know, but where is it on a gun?
At the top.
This might be important information one day. So, she says, "Blowing Corrie's brains out is just what I need." And he leaves. She gets it out, looks at it again. It's a gun. After the break, we get reminded again. She puts it in the biscuit tin. Everyone thinks that women put buttons in our biscuit tins. Now you know the truth.
Why is that a good place to put a gun in a house with Kevin and Jack?
Yeah, exactly. They'll be like, "Oh, she's got us biscuits."
The only worst biscuit tin to put it in is probably the one in Streetcars.
Yeah.
Apart from that, like... You
can just imagine her coming in one day going, "Kev, what have you done with the biscuit tin?" "Oh, I gave it to Tim because he said he didn't have any biscuits."
That'd be your ideal story.
And then he just picks it up and puts it in his mouth and blows his brains out.
he's a strange looking biscuit.
Oh, okay. It's a biscuit in the shape of a gun. I wonder what happens if I pull the trigger.
I could read this thing on the little label that says gun.
Very macabre. Kevin and Jack come home with a takeaway from the bistro, and they have a lovely little
reunion, don't they? Have a lovely little
she catches up on everything she's missed.
Hug.
Jack asks her to promise that she won't leave again, but she won't. Jack gets mad and calls her a liar, and he hates her and goes off. Now, this child is obviously supposed to be 16 in this programme, yes?
60, did you say?
16?
16 foot tall.
How old is this child?
11.
Okay.
Or 12, maybe at a push. Not a teenager yet.
I don't get children, but he does seem older.
Yes, he does a tad. I don't know whether anyone noticed that. I don't know whether I've pointed that out ever since this kid was cast as him. And he's fine in everything. He's not. No,
he's great.
He's a fine addition to the cast. But
I don't think they should recast him because they'll have to chop another kid's leg off, and that's not really fair.
Yeah.
Abby tries to explain to Kev that she doesn't make promises she can't keep.
Yeah, she's been a bit too.
That's so fair about it. I say.
Like sometimes you tell me it's exactly this.
Here we go.
Exactly this. Whenever Gemma asks me to promise anything, and
I'll try.
I'll try. I can't promise. Well, I don't even remember what situation.
I'll try. I can't guarantee one way or the other.
I can't remember the times that you've got really mad at me in the past when I've not been able to just say yes.
Yeah.
I can't. Can you think of any times?
Loads of times. I can't think of a specific. I'll say, can you get home early on so-and-so day because I need a lift to the doctor or whatever? And you'll be like, I'll try.
No, I'm sure there's been more serious ones. Anyway, I
don't know, but I'm with Yoda on this one.
No, well done, Abby. There is try.
No, there isn't.
Did you like?
It's do or do not.
Right, anyway.
Do or do not, no more questions.
Anyway, while all this is going on, Abby's got more going around than her head, of course, because she knows what she's got up to.
Debbie comes... Oh, yeah. Debbie gives Abby a lecture about disappointing Jack, and she wants to know...
Jack's so disappointing, isn't he?
Look, he's partly your problem, isn't he? You're raising him with Kevin. I thought once you got on the thing...
He had such a promising start, and he's so disappointing now. No, she is disappointing Jack.
Yeah. Can you move it up, please? Thank you.
Yeah, scrolling up.
She wants to know why is she back if you can't commit to staying? And Abby's like, I just can't say anything at the moment for definite. And Debbie says, is there anything else going on? Anything I can help with? And Abby's like, no. Can you unshag someone for me? Unshag. It's not possible. Debbie says that Abby needs to make a decision, commitment or walk away. And then she goes upstairs and Jack comes in because there's not enough space on that set for everyone to be socially distanced. She says, I'll make you
hugging earlier.
A hot chocolate. And then I just want to say one thing about this. Just because you saw two characters hugging in one scene doesn't necessarily mean that they'll be able to be in close contact with each other in a different scene, because it could be a different day and in a different week or even a different month, depending on when bits got filmed and whether they had to do reshoots or whatever. Just in case people wondering, how come they're not...
They're just very much relaxing the rules but still keeping some rules, aren't they? And they're saying, well, would it be nice if they were next to each other? Would that add to it? Yeah. Get them tested, put them together. I guess, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Well,
At least it's not like it was 6-8 months ago, and it's like, no, these characters really should be up close to each other, and they're not.
Abby's like makes him hot chocolate, and she says, look, I don't know what's the futures holds. Anything could happen. Aliens could abduct me.
Anything could happen at Super Soap Week next week. Anything goes.
I would love it if aliens did that. He says, I understand, and then she looks really upset because she knows that she's gonna shoot Corrie.
You're gonna blow his brains out.
Blow his brains out. On Wednesday, Abby is researching Corrie online, and she keeps spelling it wrong. She's like, how come there's a picture of me? And everyone else that I live with. Nina comes in and sees how she's doing, and Nina's Nina's like, do you think she's acting like a big sister almost?
Yeah.
She's kind of being very familiar with Abby, and like they've got this very deep connection.
They have a 7 common, don't they?
Yeah. Abby's nervy because she nearly got caught, and Nina accuses her of pushing Kevin away, and she says, "No, I'm not." Kevin comes back because Jack's lucky sock's there, and says,
"She's just pausing to reflect,
letting everybody just think that through."
I've heard of a pair of lucky pants, but never lucky socks.
No, it's one lucky sock.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
Makes you wonder what happened to the other sock. Maybe that's why it's lucky, because it's the sole survivor. We've got lots of those, don't we?
Do you think Imran was wearing his lucky pants that night he got lucky with Abby?
I don't think it was lucky. Debbie's had a cancellation for a wedding.
Of course.
Asher catches Nina in the street and says, "Let's go hang out together." And Nina's like, "Look, shut up, leave me alone, can't be bothered." Abby's had a go at me. She's just irritated and wants to be left alone. Asher basically is at the moment a one-girl fan group for Nina. On Friday, Nina finds out from the paper that Corrie's been snapped up by a German team. It looks like he's got away with all his crimes.
This is a strange and unexpected twist for me, I just have to say. I mean, who knows what's going to happen to Corrie in the very imminent future? I mean, he's one of the many people on my suspect list of who's going to get their brains blown out next week, basically. But I didn't think they were going to be throwing this curveball of him maybe going off to Germany. He must be a pretty good footballer.
Yeah, he's very talented, but he's an arsehole.
Yeah.
Looks like he's got away with it. Roy finds a sparkly pink diary in the cafe with a mention of football training, and I was just like so confused about this for ages. I was like, why have they given James a pink?
They said too,
notebook.
Didn't they? They said, "Oh, you think it's James's just because it's sparkly and pink."
No, I thought it was James's because it's got football training in it.
Exactly. They said.
But then I couldn't let it go. I was like, this is stupid. What's this got to do with anything? Why is James in this?
There's only 2 possible people in the whole of Weatherfield who could possibly be writing about football training in their diary.
I was like, it's not Corrie's. Is it Corrie's? Why has Corrie got a pink sparkly notebook? Not that I mind either way. Anyone can have whatever notebook they want. I'm not. I don't discriminate.
I think it's Tommy O's.
It could be. He's not doing football training, is he? Anyway, Nina takes it.
She's gonna go and see if it is James's.
I don't get. Is that a joke? I don't understand.
I don't know.
The thing is, I don't think James has got enough personality to even pick a pink sparkly notebook.
Dear diary, football.
Anyway, I got to go. I've got my tea. Oh, it's Marmite and fish again. Love me, Mum. Kevin's had Debbie's bill for the wedding and he hasn't got enough money because Abby's took $2,000 to pay for Gunny. Nina overhears, perhaps. Nina notices a mention of Germany in this diary that she's looking for the owner of. Then she goes to visit Kevin in the garage and she looks on the wall and there's handwriting like, put the milk in the fridges, scumbags, or something. And she's like, this is obviously the same handwriting as this in the diary. It must be Tyrone's.
That's exactly what I was going to say. It could be Tyrone's, couldn't it? He did get in touch with his feminine side when he was going out with Alina. With his change of wardrobe and everything. I just
think, honestly...
Skinny jeans, sparkly diary, is a whole new man.
Of all the people, right, to have a pink sparkly notebook, I think that actually Abby's the least likely of everybody.
I know, so
is she like, I'm just gonna, like, I know I'm mechanic tomboy, ex-drug addict, bad mum, all the stereotypes of being very kind of a masculine kind of lady, but I'm gonna recapture my feminine side.
I'm a sucker for a pink frilly diary.
She got that from the same place that Beth got her boss lady notebook and fluffy biro.
The fluffy stationery suppliers were coining it in this week.
It's Rita. She's there going, I've got all these notebooks and nobody's buying. Anyway, god damn it, shut up.
I think it's Pendlebury Paper Products. They're back.
Could be, yeah. Now she's figured it out that it's Abby's. Remember, Abby's got a gun.
Oh yes, she was
Gunny.
unwrapping it.
She's looking at it in the tin. Nina comes round and accuses her of stalking Corrie, and also she wants to know where the money's gone.
Oh yeah, good. Nina overheard, didn't she? Maybe.
Yeah, she thinks that this money has been paid for somebody to kneecap Corrie. And she thinks
Abby's like, oh yeah, that probably would have been better.
She's like, damn it, can you do that? I thought you had to. I'm DIY kind. You know me, I'm a very hands-on kind of a girl. Yeah, she thinks there's a grand kneecap, apparently. Honestly, I think that's a better idea. Just shoot him in the knee.
Well, he can't do his football anymore then, can he?
Then he'd be sad, won't he?
Although
It'd be hilarious.
Jack is a very talented runner with his one leg. So maybe Corrie
and then
could.
James tripped over the curb.
Yeah.
Now he's fine. Nina tells Abby that she's got to move on, stop dwelling on it, revenge isn't the answer. And Abby's like, tough, I don't care, I'm going to shoot him with Gunny. And Nina says, no, don't do it. Do you want Corrie to become a martyr?
Every time you say Gunny, now I'm just thinking of Brian Packham.
I just imagine Brian Packham going, okay, okay, I'll try my best. And then going over, like, give him a little slap. She's right here though, because this would totally happen if Corrie got shot. Everyone would be like, "Oh, poor Corrie," and nobody would give a crap about Seb.
No,
wouldn't even remember him. She wants him to see justice and suffer in prison. And Abby says, "I don't care. 5 seconds of agony is good enough for me. I just want to blow his brains out and spit on his corpse." Love it. Nina is playing hardball here. She says, "Right. I'm not gonna allow you to do this. You've got till tonight. Give the gun back, or I'm gonna go to the police and I've got your diary and I'm gonna reveal to everybody that you wrote football down, which is highly suspicious." I can't remember why this is important, but she's got the diary and that's significant.
But she gets it back at the end of the episode.
No, listen, we haven't got that far.
You've given the spit on the corpse quote.
Roy's listening to Abby and Nina talking. And Nina's changed her mind at this point because she does Scrabble. This is a very enlightening Scrabble scene where she.
Oh yeah, I didn't write about
that. She writes karma, and then she's like, "Ma, maybe it would be karma if he got shot in the eye." So she goes to Abby and says, "Look, you can shoot him if you want to, but I know you're not going to. I'm not going to tell the police, but I don't support you because I know that you're too good of a person, and you'll stop yourself. I don't need to." And then this is when Abby says, "I'm gonna look him in the eyes, pull the trigger, and spit on his corpse."
Abby was gonna go after Corrie with a broken bottle or something like 3 or 4 months ago.
Yeah.
Who was it that stopped her then? Was it Nina?
I think it was Nina.
Her? Oh dear. Okay, it's exciting stuff.
I like this. I thought this was really good. I liked Nina's faith in Abby, and I found it really interesting. I made a few jokes in my own head and maybe on Twitter. I can't remember. Mostly in my own head, about the fact that Abby is way more metal and goth than Nina could ever hope to be, because she's the one talking about murdering people and desecrating their bodies. But it does go to show you, doesn't it, that the moral of the story has always been you can't judge a book by its cover. You know, Nina's there wearing all of her gothic-y stuff, and people get scared of, you know, goths and things and think they're morbid and creepy and violent. But actually Abby, the little kind of cute woman who scrubs up nice and wears red nail varnish, is the one threatening to murder somebody.
Well, to be fair, Nina was going to run him down with the Woody last week.
I know everybody's kind of added a little pop, haven't they? Like, what if I just do a little bit of a murder?
Are you excited to see another gun on the street, or are you sometimes? I don't know. It doesn't have the same impact as it once did, does it? Having a firearm on the street. It used to be a big thing, but now everybody's got them.
Oh, here we go. But this is the thing didn't I tell you before that
everyone's packing Packham. That's what I call it.
Packing a Packham.
This is some kind of Cockney rhyming slang, isn't it? He's got a Packham. We know what that means, Gunny.
Gunny, yeah. They did a study, or didn't I say that there was some kind of thing in the north, because they've got gun crime problems everywhere, but they studied a gun or something, followed a gun around, and it was involved in like 50 crimes.
That makes it sound like a gun's just kind of walking down the street, shadily ducking into alleys.
No, and the police was following, going, "Don't scare him."
It might go off.
He's going to shoot you in the face. He'll turn around. No, but that's my point. This gun could have been the same gun all the time.
Maybe
they're very rare. It's quite, you got to smuggle them in.
Well, it was about 5 years ago or something. We did a feature discussion on gun crime on Coronation Street, didn't we? It feels like we should update it, or at least upload it to YouTube or something.
I just wondered, have they decided that knife crime is like an EastEnders thing?
It's funny, isn't it? It's people don't have a stabby very much in Coronation Street.
Because really, I was thinking this as
we could call it Stabby Abbey, the storyline title.
Stabby Abbey. I was thinking this. I mean. I'm confused really because Abby seems quite a thrifty woman. Why would you buy a gun when a knife is free?
Yeah, and if she's going to blow his brains out, she probably wants to do it at close range, and a knife would be just as good for that, really, wouldn't it?
I think that there's, it's often said that women, if they choose to commit murder, will use less violent means than a man might, women are less likely to pick a knife or involve blood in any way. It's more common to poison.
You just nag, don't you?
Nag you to death. It's not working. Or run people over with a car. Like, she works with cars. She could just be fixing a car, wait for Corrie to walk past, because he's always hanging around for some reason.
Slam him under the
bonnet.
Then
run him over and be like, oh, it was a malfunction. Then she'd actually get away with it.
Do you think? Do you think nobody would be suspicious then?
Oh, it's just a coincidence. One of them soap coincidences.
All these self-driving cars, virus.
Everyone comes over and asking all these questions. She goes, I slept with Imran. And then they suddenly stop, she distract.
Yeah. I don't know. Even though they are using guns,
we haven't
quite
revealed
a lot.
that. That's what's happened yet. That's the first time. I'm sorry I spoiled it.
I think people know. Even though it's a bit like it's not as exciting, it's not as impactful as it used to be. I do get like a little bit of excitement when there's a gun that appears on Corrie, especially if I know there's a big week coming up next week.
I just feel like I want humans to invent something different because a gun's so cliched now.
Why can't mankind create a new weapon?
With an axe.
A drone with an axe.
Yeah.
I want a drone where the rotors are just an axe spinning round.
Oh, that's what happened to, Ricky Martin? Didn't he get attacked by a drone?
What?
Yeah, I think so. I think he was doing a concert and a drone was filming him and he put his hand up and it just whacked his...
Chopped his fingers off. Oh well. Do you think that Nina is right that Abby will stop herself?
Yeah.
I would hope so.
My prediction...
Abby is incredibly impulsive, as we will see in the next storyline, and she makes ridiculous decisions. She doesn't think, but I would really seriously hope that she would. Oh, is it? But is it?
See, she's exactly like me.
It's a hope, but maybe she wouldn't.
She's exactly like me. She makes all these
self-destructive.
rash decisions and pledges to all these things like, oh, I'm going to lose weight. Oh, I'm going to go running. I'm going to buy a gun and shoot my enemy in the face. Then it comes to nothing in the end, and you spent $2,000 on bugger all.
Now what am I going to do with it?
Oh, and I've got a gun. I can't
plenty
sell.
of other villains you can sell it on for. Oh, look, Harvey's spoken out of prison. There you go, mate. You fancy this? $3,000.
Yeah, exactly. I think what's going to happen is there will be a moment where Abby has the gun on Corrie, and then she doesn't do it, or she puts it down, or she goes, "No, I'm better than this," or some kind of rubbish, and then someone else grabs it and then shoots her or somebody else.
Yeah, I mean, I was fairly convinced a few weeks ago that Corrie was going to end up 6 feet under by the end of next week.
You said he's going to go to prison, and I said he's going to die.
No. Did I? No, I thought I said maybe I wanted him to go to prison to pay for his crimes. But I thought that he probably would end up dead, especially with Super Soap Week coming up. And now I'm thinking maybe not.
If only we recorded these. And somebody could tell us what we said.
I don't listen back to these again. No, I did it. I've kind of got a list in my head of possible deaths, and although Corrie is definitely on there, he's not at the top at the moment. And maybe as we go through the other story, pretty much every other story has got somebody in it that's on my hit list, my potential hit list anyway. So I don't particularly want to say who could be biting this bullet yet this week. But no, what do you reckon? Is Corrie going to live to kick another ball?
No, Corrie's going to die. By the end of next week, he's going to be dead.
Not at the hand of Abby, though.
No,
I think maybe you're right. She's going to go to kill him, but won't. But he will somehow expire by other means.
He'll fall off something or down a hole.
Oh, I know where there's one of those.
And the gun will shoot. The gun will be used to shoot somebody else, like an innocent bystander or something.
Maybe. But will he die a martyr, like Nina said?
No.
Or is he's going to reveal his
Someone's
evil...
going to live stream him on a TikTok.
Because the only person really that knows that he absolutely definitely did it is Kelly, isn't it?
Well, Kelly's the one that was there when he did it.
Yeah, and she's not gonna... She's obviously not going to be there. And no.
But, you know, Abby saw him wink, which...
That's not really that much evidence.
I don't think...
He's going to have to do a big old feeling by the lighthouse confession.
He'll do you're scum, just like your scummy son. And if I could kick you to death right now, I would. But I'm holding on to the side of this sinkhole. And I really am hoping you're not going to do an Eileen and seagull me to death.
I mean, there's also Roy that could be the fly in Abby's ointment. I mean, I'd like to think that Abby stops herself, but I don't know as she would. I think maybe we need a little intervention from Royston.
What would it mean for her character, though, if she got as far as almost shooting him and then she didn't?
I don't know whether it would mean much. I mean, because next time they want her to
Yeah,
do
but she'll
something
be
impulsive
like,
again, she'll do
Kevin,
it.
I can't marry you because I'm a murderer.
She's got other reasons why she can't marry him at the moment. Now, do you think Roy's going to stop her? Roy's clearly going to do something, otherwise they wouldn't have had him having a good old snoop towards the end of the episode.
Oh yeah, he overheard them, but what did he hear? This is what was unclear to me.
I think.
Did he hear the whole thing?
I think so. I think he heard enough that he knows what's going on here.
He's such a square. He'd probably phone the police.
He could phone the police. He could phone Abby. He should phone the police.
Maybe he's like.
But he could speak to Kevin.
Oh, do you know what? I'd quite like a gun. They're really cool. I could put it in my woody.
Look, last time we saw Roy with the gun, he got himself arrested, didn't he? We just watched this recently for the Civil War reenactment.
Yeah, maybe he's like, I could do a reenactment or something. That'd be awesome.
Maybe.
Just gonna phone Brian.
Just
Gunny,
gonna phone
get
Gunny.
around it.
Okay. I don't know. I think Roy's probably going to stop her. Please don't shoot anybody. Abby's the other one. This is the thing. Like a month and a half ago, I was like absolutely terrified that Abby was going to end up dead at the end of next week, and it's still a definite possibility.
I know one person I'm worried is going to die.
I know lots of people that I think might die, and most of them I'm worried might die. Do you think that Abby might die next week? Oh no. God, they cannot do this. Not after all. I'm going to
get really now I'm getting anxious because I had in my mind, I've got one person in my mind that I'm like, oh, it really could be them, because
we'll get along.
No, but listen, I'm not going to say who it is.
What? Not at all.
I'm not going to say who I think it is.
Well, I'm going to say some other suspects later.
For a reason.
Okay.
Because I'm like,
if you put it out into the universe, it will happen.
No. It's because I'm like, I'm not going to say why, but that I've been fixated on this one person, and so I haven't actually broaden my horizons to anyone else. And so now I'm actually for the first time thinking, what if they actually killed somebody I like?
There's a lot of people that I like. There's a lot of people that I like that are on my death list.
There's one person I know definitely.
Abby, they not going to die. They cannot kill Abby, but they actually might.
But I would have been worried about this person previously, but now I'm not, because I know they're not going to die.
Oh yes. Because there's been some news about contract extensions this week.
But now I'm like,
or was it a hoax?
I don't know. I am really worried. What the hell? Now. Could they kill more than one person?
See, yes, they could.
I was looking forward to Super Soap Week because I thought it'd be fun to watch some horrible people get shot. But now, if it's going to be somebody I like, I'm going to get mad.
I mean, Harvey's probably going to be dead next week,
Harvey
isn't
and
he?
Corrie.
Yeah, but there's got to be a goodie.
The body count?
We will find out.
No, I don't want
and
to
the
now.
thing is, I think we need to maybe at this juncture reveal the fact that our viewing schedule for next week is going to be a little bit...
Yeah, sorry about that, Michael.
No, don't apologise. I know you don't mean it.
No, I don't.
We're going away on holiday at the end of... on Friday evening, aren't we? Before Coronation Street. We've got our annual trip with Gemma's parents.
Next week.
Yes, next week. So,
the Friday Super Soap Week.
Although I hope that we can maybe watch Friday's episode live with everybody else, with Gemma's parents. I don't know whether we'll be able to yet.
My mum will talk through it.
I know your mum will talk through it, and it might be worth it because I want to watch it with everybody else. It's going to mean that next week's podcast is going to have to be released after Wednesday's episode, which in a way is kind of quite good because we can make some what's our final theories for the end of the week, but also it's going to feel massively incomplete. And then the following week it's going to end Super Soap Week.
Listen, I don't know what we're going to do.
I don't know.
It might be possible.
Sorry, everybody.
to do like a mini. The thing is, we could like record an extra one in the place that we're going to stay in, but it will be like, hi everybody.
Yeah, you know, there's some things that you don't want your parents-in-law walking in on you doing, and recording a podcast is one of them.
Yeah.
Okay,
I would be mortified.
Extortion. So Sabina's been doing her blackmailing.
No, I'm anxious. I can't.
Look, more theories might come. So, Toyah, on Monday, she's been on the phone to social services because good news, they got this 4-year-old. They got Elsie's going to be coming to live with them. And Imran is shocked by this. And he said, I came in from nothing. Well, yeah, he said, I came in with nothing, and now I've got a 4-year-old and a veggie breakfast. They're in the cafe, aren't they? I'm just piecing together and remembering this scene.
Why is he talking about whether it's a veggie breakfast?
Right. Rewind.
Really?
Scene 1.
Can I just say...
Imran comes in, gets a veggie breakfast, gets a 4-year-old.
90% of all breakfasts are vegetarian, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
Really?
I have a veggie breakfast.
I mean, you shouldn't really... I mean, look, I love a full English or a bacon sandwich or whatever, but you shouldn't be eating meat for your breakfast.
Not every day.
No, like
Otherwise
maybe once a month.
you might get a few chuffs.
I'll be chuffed though.
Sabine comes in to the office later with a lot more sass, and she's just she's just got him around a little finger, hasn't she? And he's like, "What's this? A threat?" And she's like, "Yeah, I think it is."
I love that. She's like, "Yep."
She is the best. I love Sabine so much.
She's like, "I'm not gonna." Yeah, why would I?
She's not gonna stay on the program.
Is she gonna get shot?
No.
Because the thing is, she's a bit involved in this now.
She's very much involved in this. I mean, the fact that Harvey's
Harvey's a bit mad with her.
Yeah.
And this guy...
No, she's going to be fine.
Who's the lawyer man, her boss.
Yes.
He might shoot her, be like, right, it's time for your annual review. Don't mind the gun on the table.
Anyway, she's got Imran by the short and curlies a little bit here. So he wrangles himself an audience with Rita by buying the old soca drink, takes her to the Rovers, and it's like, what is it she drink? G&T, is it? She's anybody's. Let me tell you about this new foster kid that I got. You used to be a foster mum, didn't you, Rita? Well, I've got this Elsie that's come to live with me.
And what have you written?
She's really chuffed and wishes them all the best. I would think that Rita should have gone, Elsie, my nemesis.
Yeah, I did think, I was totally expecting her to go, Elsie, now there's a name I haven't heard on these.
I know. How on earth? How was Elsie Tanner not mentioned
really
this
peed
week?
I'm really kind of peed off that, if one of my very significant friends or rivals or frenemies
or mother-in-law, fact,
had
Elsie Tanner is Rita's
and it's
mother-in-law.
a very uncommon name now.
Yeah, but they did make a thing about all the old names are coming back in.
You said that last week, Michael. I'm just saying to you, it's not a very common name.
No, not at all.
And if I suddenly heard, I would be like, ugh. If I was her, ugh.
Anyway, speaking of foster kids, how's that old Sharon of yours holding up, says Imran, wangle, wangle, wangle. And after basically hearing about that episode where Sharon's brother crashed her birthday party, remember that one, the classic where Rita has to throw him out, Imran eyes Rita's phone up. I did like I like the callbacks in this scene, wasn't there? Imran gets a bit of a character profile of Rita and a past fostering. So and Patrice as well, Patrice Podvin, is it he called that French dude that Jenny gets all battery eyelashes over, so that gets mentioned. So Imran takes this moment of opportunity. I'm just a bit distracted.
I'm just looking up where the word chuffed came from.
Okay, you go for that.
Well, it says
Rita and Jenny are talking about her ex-boyfriend Patrice, and Imran takes the opportunity to pocket her phone and tries to go off with it. But oh no, it starts ringing, and he acts like, oh, must have put it in my pocket by mistake. And one more like, and Rita's like, oh, you daft airpith. You can have it back though, please. What have you found out?
Oh, it is originally from Yorkshire.
Oh,
but it's one of those ones that's all over the place.
Anyway, Imran gets back home quite late. And he's got this little cute family tree poster to add all their little foster children's names to it. It's very sweet. Cute.
And Toyah gets all excited and starts fidgeting, and I thought she was going to pull out the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
But she actually I'm going to get a pen. But I just wanted
Don't forget to write Mason and Kelly on it.
I think that it's a genealogical disaster to be making a family tree of foster children, but nobody asked me.
Wednesday, this is where it all it comes out, doesn't it?
That's what she said.
Imran leaves Toyah building this this princess castle to go to the office. Is there a story about you in princess castles or My Little Pony?
My Little Pony, Majesty's Castle.
What is the story of this? I remember something. Your dad bought you.
I wanted one, and I was a very. I don't know if anyone can tell this, but I was a very spoiled child, really.
Only child. I would never have guessed.
My parents never
She
had
hasn't
loads
grown
of
out
money.
of it.
But they always got me what I wanted because I was probably an insufferable little bitch, to be honest. But one time I really wanted a Majesty's magical castle or something, and they had to, and they didn't even make them anymore. And my mum and dad were like literally phoned up the toy manufacturers to get me this bloody thing, and in the end they had to buy it second hand, and I'm all like. I don't remember. I remember another time.
Was it a My Little Pony thing?
Yeah, My Little Pony's Majesty's Castle.
I think my sister had a little mini My Little Pony thing. Like with little
yeah, well, they changed
discs
them,
on.
didn't they?
Hmm? It was like little
also
My Little Pony in your pocket thing.
Invented 2 types of My Little Ponies. I wrote to Majesty when I was a child, and I invented a pony that danced and a pony that sang when you put a tape in it. And they released these ponies. You wound up a little thing on its chest, and then its tail spun round, and it went round in a circle. And I invented that.
You didn't get any credit for that.
No, but I also remember they had to get me a budgie once because I wanted a budgie. I had to drive back to like half an hour to get back to this pet shop because I wanted a budgie.
You seriously have not grown out of this. Even now, if Gemma wants something, she gets
Shut
it.
up. No, I don't
you
always.
Do,
No, you
and
don't.
Then you get strappy about it if you don't.
No, you don't.
It's true.
Excuse me, I want a dog. Where's my dog then?
Okay, apart from a dog. But most of the time, you do get
Michael,
your
you don't even know all the long list of things that I want.
So anyway, Elsie's going to have this lovely pink princess castle when she arrives at the Battersby household later today.
Why do you make me tell stories that really reflect so poorly on me?
I just want to make myself look good.
Oh.
Anyway, he goes to the office and he has a bit of a phone call with Sabine, a bit more blackmailing going on. Then Sarah Lou comes in. I don't really get why she's been involved in the story a couple of scenes this week, so I don't know whether she's going to be in it next week or something. But anyway,
the microphone's not picking up the cat.
The cat has come to have a good old scratch.
You say you don't. Look, can I just say something?
I'm talking about the other Abby.
You say I always get what I want, but you always get what you want. Like, you just obsess about one really big thing for months and months and months, and then you buy it, like a TV or a cat.
No, it's different. Because I don't have as many things. Anyway, what's going on? Sarah Lou comes in and starts talking about Elsie, and then he manages to get rid of her, and then carries on talking with Sabine on the phone, and she's like, just get me the damn numbers, Imran, or you know what'll happen. So Imran goes and meets up with Rita again and says, oh, you know that Sharon, it's such a shame that you're not in touch with her anymore. Let me help you find her. Can I have maybe I'd like some numbers that you used to phone. I'll phone her up for you. I'll do it. And she immediately clocks that he's up to something. It's because you think
she's a dotty old bat.
Well, she is a lot of the time.
I said she was dumb last week, and you said I was wrong.
No, she's not as sharp as she once was. But this week she was.
Sharples.
She was sharper than Ina Sharple's knitting needle. And she said, "What are you up to?
Listen
here. You tried to steal my phone the other day." And he's like, because he ends up like he's got no choice really but to come clean about this case. And she says, "Oh, I heard about how you treated Asher in court the other month, and what people are saying is right. You'll do anything to win a case. Oh, how the mighty have fallen."
Yeah, she gets really, she's really rude.
I know all the old biddies on Coronation Street are like really up themselves about Imran. First it was Claudia the other year saying, "Oh, Imran, you're no good," and now Rita.
The thing is, like, she's saying he'll do anything to win a case, but she hasn't filled in the gaps there, which is that he is motivated by self-righteousness, which is probably worse than personal ambition. Because when you believe that you're doing the morally right thing, you'll go to many more lengths than you might have done. Don't you think?
Very true. You will. Fighting for justice. So Imran goes back to the office, finds Sabine is there, and he says, "Right, this is all over. I'm not doing this anymore. Tell Toyah what happened for all you cares. She deserves to know the truth."
I love this bit when what Sabine says to him.
Well, she says, "Look, if you're going to cry about it, then you forget about the Harvey case."
I thought that was great. She just like, God, you're making this is no fun anymore. I was kind of enjoying being an evil queen, but you're just blubbering.
Yeah. And he says that I've been bloody torturing myself over this the past days at least. I love Toyah more than anything. And his secret's safe with her. So Imran
I don't get this. I really don't understand this. I'm trying to get into the headspace of somebody and trying to be compassionate, because I know that people who are nice and good can still do this. But I just can't get my head into that. I just can't.
Maybe Imran is just not nice and good, despite what we said about him in his character profile this week. I'm trying. It doesn't. No. Yeah. Anyway, so Sabine says, "Look, fine. I'm not going to tell anybody."
How can you say you love somebody that much?
I know. So he goes home. Toya's very happy and proud of herself because she's got her fully built princess castle.
Can we just say it's obvious that she doesn't want Elsie to touch it? She built it for herself.
And she totally does the whole soap tropey thing about saying, "Oh, Imran, you're so wonderful. I love you, so amazing. Imran, we're going to have these happy together."
She goes, "Imran, you've got a look on your face like you want to tell me something, but
before you do, just butter you right up." Then he says, "Right, don't go any further than this, because I'm actually going to tell you something. And the more that you tell me how great I am, the more likely it is that I'll say nothing when you ask me what it was that I wanted to say. So I'm going to tell you now, on the night of the verdict, I was having a one-night stand." And she's like, "Why, you dirty, stupid pig? Toyah
I love
is
that.
mad this
I thought
week."
this was fantastic, right? Because calling him a dirty, stupid pig was probably the worst insult I've ever heard on this show, even though it's such a really simple thing. But calling Imran, of all people, who's a very intelligent, well put together, like manicured within an inch of his life guy, calling him a dirty, stupid pig, that must have really, really hurt. Don't you think?
Maybe, I don't know.
I just thought that was... Yeah, it could have been worse, but the fact that she called him that...
Not before the 9 o'clock watershed.
Michael, listen to what I'm saying.
No, I get it. No, you're right. Anyway, he says, "Look, I don't know who it was or anything. I just went to a bar, some random woman, got a bit drunk, and Toyah is utterly gutted by this. She's angry, she's confused. She's just had this dropped on her when she was all excited about Elsie coming around." And he says, "Also, there's something else, actually. Sorry, Sabine knew about this, and she was blackmailing me into working on Harvey's appeal." And Toyah's like, "Harvey's appeal? The guy that was going after my sister Leanne?" And she starts to piece together everything that's been happening, the lies upon lies, and just how manipulative and sneaky Imran's been these past few weeks. And he was trying to get Harvey out of prison. And she says, "I loved you." That was so sad when she said that, wasn't it? I loved you. She doesn't love him anymore. And she says, "However drunk you were, at that moment you still wanted someone else." She asked, "Did you use a condom?" And I was like, whoa, Toyah, I wasn't expecting that. Bleep that one out. And he says, "Yes." Are you expecting any kind of pregnancy here? Do you think that maybe they mentioned that just to add to the lies?
I don't know.
Would it be too soapy and obvious to have Abby get pregnant with this?
Well, I mean, it's been a very much discussed point, hasn't it? People talking about...
Has it? I don't know. I've been avoiding a lot of discussion about this as well, just in case there are any secret
people have
spoilers
been saying, it's obviously like a very soapy thing, like if she gets pregnant, blah, blah, blah. I think I even said it. Because, I understand the criticism of saying this would be a really bad move because it's too soapy, it's cliche, always happens, yada, yada, yada. But honestly, if you're going to justify any character this happening to, it would be... The thing is, it's lost its impact because it happens all the time. But say it wasn't an overplayed trope, this would be perfect for this storyline because of how heartbroken Abby would be, knowing that she had messed up the lives of her children before. Her firstborn son's been murdered. Her twins are in Australia. Now she's got this other child. Is she going to mess this kid's life up as well? Then you've got Toyah, who desperately wants a baby, and the ultimate betrayal has now turned into an even deeper one when Imran fathers a child with somebody else.
Yeah, in many ways it would be
a really good twist.
But I don't want that to happen. I really don't want it to happen. But it's just the fact that they brought it up I don't know. I mean, you probably would, wouldn't you, in real life?
Yeah,
but
in real
sometimes
life
the actual details that people say aren't mentioned in scripts if they don't have a purpose.
Especially if you knew that he said it was somebody he met in a bar and he didn't know them. You'd be like, well, I hope you haven't given me chlamydia.
Anyway, this changes everything for her. She says, "You're not the man I thought you were. I just don't think I can trust you again."
Yeah.
So dramatic to her. He wants to make it up to her, but she's just like, "Get the hell away from me." So she bogs herself off to Victoria Gardens, where she finds her ex-squeeze Peter Barlow, who she tells what's happened, and he says, "You know, we all shag around these parts. It's part of the DNA of us Weatherfielders. Just like, Carla slept with Adam. She still loves me. I could, many examples I could go on. Look at my dad. We all do it. This doesn't make Imran a bad person, though. So think about it before you decide to call time on this relationship. That's actually quite good, actually. So back at the flat, Elsie arrives. It's cute, the button little kid. She's very, very smiley and lovely, and Imran tells the foster lady, Toyah and I have had a bit of a disagreement, actually, and it could be serious. And I was thinking, what's going to happen? But Toyah kind of grits her teeth, doesn't she, and comes back in.
She brushes in, yeah.
And she's acting like it's all okay. And Imran at the time is thinking, is it okay, or is she going to lay into me as soon as the room's clear? But I don't know. It's horrible, isn't it? But sometimes we get like that. Like if me and you have had an argument, and then you're kind of nice to somebody else, and I think, oh, she's feeling okay now, and then you gleam in the evil glare.
Can I say this podcast is turning into a stitch up of me? What have I done to you?
Nothing. You've got lots of lovely good qualities as well.
Oh wow, you wouldn't know it.
And then she's brought a very special heifer lump because Elsie likes heifer lumps. Just look like
don't tell her they're not real. I don't know what a heifer lump is.
They're the invisible creatures from Winnie the Pooh, aren't they? Anyway, Elsie is in a room later listening to her tapes, and Toyah says to Imran, "I hate you for what you've done, but I do still have feelings for you. You're the bloody most handsome guy on this street, and I'm really lucky to get you. I'm not going to get any better than this."
Up.
I don't know if that's enough, though. And you only told me what happened because you thought you were going to get caught out. And he says, "Well, actually, Sabine had changed her mind. She wasn't gonna dob me in. I came clean because I couldn't live with myself, with the guilt of it all. I just want us to be a proper family." It's so very heartbreaking because me as a viewer, I was going, yes, I want you to be a family too. He says, this is the truth. I only lie to you because I'm terrified of losing you. And she's like, I don't know if we can move past this, but maybe I want to try. And I was like, yes. Oh, the drama was worth it. Everything's going to be okay. And he says, nothing like this will ever happen again. I have told you everything. Let's have a hug. And she's like, whoa there, I'm not up for that yet.
I was stupid because I believed him.
I did as well. I totally believed him. I was watching him thinking,
right, then.
I
was thinking I don't know.
It was just a random woman in a bar.
Silly. Why did they make it a random woman? That's silly. There's so many people it could have been. It doesn't make any sense. Oh well.
I was momentarily happy with the situation and with this. And anyway, but it was so fleeting because he says, I need to go off to the shop and get some milk and stuff while she has a little cry. And as soon as he left that flat, I was like, you're bloody going to go and find the person that you slept with, aren't you?
And then I got really stressed and tense because I was like, they better show me. At the end of this episode, I better know who it is. I'm going to get really mad because I was getting really anxious. I was like, what am I going to do? By
golly, they certainly did. We see him on the phone to somebody saying, I've told Toyah I need to meet you.
I was going to say to you, if they don't tell us, I'm going to text Charlie.
Who is it?
Tell me, I can't wait. I don't think he would tell us. But I'm almost certain they would never tell us anything. They weren't supposed to.
He would absolutely not tell us this. He wouldn't want to know, really. Anyway,
he would just laugh at me.
Just to reinforce the fact that he is a massive wronger, and Imran's next scene is in Villains Alley opposite Speed Dial. Yep. And he's on the phone to Toyah saying, I've been looking for milk all over. Devs didn't have any.
Yeah, well, I had that problem.
I'm not allowed to mention the co-op by name, but that shop down the road hasn't got any.
I went to the EE shop and they're not open yet.
I tried to get some from Costa, but it's not there anymore. And then who should turn up? that Abby Franklin...
What?
The local slapper, she calls herself, who does have, admittedly, bigger things to worry about at the moment than him hassling her. She says, "Back off, Imran," and then leaves. And that...
She gets really mad, doesn't she? Because she's like, look, honestly, your petty middle-class bullshit about just sleeping around on your girlfriend because you've got a foster kid and a princess palace at home. I've got a dead son and Gunny on my kitchen table waiting for me to come and work my magic.
Oh, gosh. We'll talk more about that reveal later. Friday. Imran this is Friday's episode where we start singing his Yogurt Cocoa Pop song. What's your choice, Gemma? What would you rather have for breakfast?
What was with the yogurt? What's with the yogurt?
Maybe it's like one of those...
Is it a petit filou?
Maybe. I think, why not just have like one of those corner yogurts that's got Cocoa Pops in, and then you can have them both.
Do you know what I miss? They stopped doing them. Those nice muesli corner yogurts. The breakfast ones.
Oh yeah.
I love those.
There used to be a whole wider range of corner yogurts that they don't do anymore.
Bloody Brexit.
I like that they had a Mississippi mud pie one once. They had a banoffee one once. It was lovely.
See, if it's just plain yogurt, no. But I don't like Cocoa Pops. I don't really like breakfast.
I bought a box of Cocoa Pops for the first time in a very long time the other day. I had some on top of my Weetabix.
No, I don't like
Anyway, we digress.
Like
it's Imran's fault. He's singing this to Elsie. Elsie just has to point because she hasn't figured out how to speak yet. Toyah is still absolutely fuming at him. He's trying to kind of make out everything's fine, isn't he? Which is, again, something that I do when I'm in the doghouse. I go, "Oh,
Michael, can I just say that sometimes you get mad at me?"
I know I do. I totally do.
But I don't talk about it on the podcast.
You can do.
I know, but...
You can do. Anyway.
You're making it sound like I'm like this spoiled princess that sits on a pile of presents. And,
I'm only ribbon, yeah.
And, like, dismisses you like a peasant.
She's like, "Don't you pretend that everything's normal. It's not. And stop acting around. Stop making out that Elsie's going to be serenaded by you every day. It's not normal. Just
No. She was saying to him, we can't be doing this and making every day a special day. She needs stability and routine because she's going to be, she's had a really tough life. And if we make every day like it's her birthday, we can't maintain this. No. And also it's not good for the kid."
Did they said what her backstory is? I can't remember whether I've heard it or not.
Maybe it's Harvey Gaskell's kid. Maybe she's going to be used as a human shield next week. Do you think she's going to fall down a sinkhole?
Maybe.
And she won't be able to scream for help?
Maybe. You said Harvey Gaskell, like gas kill, and maybe that's his MO. Gasses you to death.
Well, that's what Abby could do. Yeah. What, chuffs you to death?
So Toyah speaks to Simon later in the cafe and says, I need to chat to Leanne about something. And he says he assumes it's related to this phone that he gave Imran, which Imran hadn't told Toyah about. So she learns that there is more that he'd been keeping from her. The fact that he took Simon's drugs phone and was trying to find out all the information there or whatever. So she has a massive go at Imran again when he comes home, saying, "You conned Simon into giving you his drugs phone. You went trawling through for information that could get Simon killed." I mean, fair play. I think we've all been using trawling through our phone for ways that we can get Simon Barlow killed, but in the circumstance maybe isn't the best option. And then he gets distracted by Elsie for something, and then Toyah takes Imran's phone and Scarpa's. They're all just stealing each other's phones this week. Toyah is in the bistro later trying to get into Imran's phone, and I found this very odd because how long have they been together? 3 years, 4 years maybe at this point? But they don't know each other's phone passwords. Is that a normal to not know your significant other's phone passwords? We've got in trouble
about saying stuff.
Oh gosh, we're not allowed to say that. For the benefit of O2.
No. I'm saying we got in trouble about this before. We were like, "Oh, isn't it normal to do exactly what we do and nothing else?" And everyone's like, "No."
Well,
why do you? Everyone's different, and everyone's relationships are different, and people have different levels of trust and things. Like, some people would say that to look on your partner's phone is actually the worst thing you could possibly do and is a betrayal. But we look on each other's phones all the time.
Yeah, we don't go scrolling through each other's texts.
I've got no interest in what you're texting people.
No. Well, maybe.
And normally I'm in all the chat groups you're in anyway, and the rest of them is just work stuff.
Yeah.
Or you talking to George about Nintendo.
Have you got have you got your face set up on my phone even?
Yeah, my face is on your phone, but yours isn't on mine. And you were getting, you were
like,
you were saying you wanted to. No.
Yeah.
No.
Anyway, for whatever reason, maybe because it's full of secret legal things.
The thing is,
Imran's not told Toyah his phone password.
Perhaps there's a professional reason why you wouldn't. Like, I probably shouldn't be able to go on your laptop.
Yeah, maybe not. Anyway, she's trying to get the password in, which turns out to be Rana's birthday or something. Everybody's got a password that's
really significant in a kind of sentimental
really
way.
Significant and guessable, isn't it? I mean, I don't know. Nobody would guess my phone password. It is a special number.
No, she copied mine.
No. My PIN number on my phone.
Yeah. No more.
Okay. And there's certainly nobody guess yours. Anyway, Peter's there as well, saying, I'm wiser. My wise advice for you today is, Toyah, that I don't think this is a good idea. Don't go snooping, because it's just the thin end of the wedge. So
I just want to say that having your dead sister's birth date as your phone passcode is such a fictional character thing to do that, like, you would never in real life.
No.
I think he'd be like, like my favourite porn star's birthday, or
if you're gonna have
my birthday, or
if you're gonna have somebody's birthday as your passcode, have it as somebody who's alive, and then it's a surefire way that you're not gonna forget their birthday. At least that's one.
Yeah, you just get bummed out every time you go on your phone, like, oh yeah.
Oh, Rana.
I swore revenge.
Really should find out who it was that dropped a roof on her. Must get back to that report. Anyway, Sabine goes a visiting Imran again later in the office and says, what the hell have you done? I've been accused of alleged misconduct and I've been taken off all my cases. I've been reported to the Bar Standards Board, and that's not the people who comes and does the weights and measures in the rovers every now and then.
They're coming to check to make sure she hadn't watered down her vodka.
Anyway, she says, I've had to have all my cases passed on, including the Harvey Gaskell one, so thanks a lot for that. You have just made yourself a very serious enemy in Harvey, because now he's not going to get his appeal and he's not going to be happy about this.
I also
definitely got off.
Like the way that she
totally innocent.
Is full of righteous anger and indignation at him but the fact is that she was the only one that was doing things wrong. Like, everything she did, she should have been reported ages ago, and she should have been struck off and had all of her cases taken away, because she's an underhanded sneak.
I know, totally. Well, I can't remember what that extra note was.
It's to do with Adam and...
Oh, it doesn't matter. I'm lost, just scrolling past my notes. Okay, so yeah, she thinks that it's Imran that's reported her, and Imran's like, I don't know what you're talking about, mate, sorry.
And then he goes, I'm going to show you that I didn't. My phone's right here.
My phone is in my... What? I just don't get...
I don't believe that
anybody...
of his generation and ours...
doesn't ever know where their phone is.
Yeah.
Although, I mean, people do it. So people leave their phones behind, but... I don't know.
My phone is constantly with me. If I can't see it, I'm like, where's my phone gone?
Yeah, and you get panicky, don't you? And it's connected to my Apple Watch and everything as well. My phone is. I don't know. I'm sure hasn't Imran got a smartwatch. So anyway, never mind. So what's happened is her private texts with him have been sent to her head of chambers, and all the ones that are saying, I am blackmailing you, Imran. Love, Sabine, kiss, kiss. And she says, well, you did blackmail me, so...
He did.
He says that. She did blackmail me, so sucks to be you, basically. And she's like, no, you made yourself an enemy here. Storms off.
I know, I love this. She's... I'm so mad.
Toyah returns home to a very stressed out Imran. She's made things... somewhat difficult now. She is absolutely fuming, though. She says, this is supposed to be a happy week. We had Elsie coming on. It's like Christmas Eve, but for Super Soap Week. Getting all excited. You've ruined it. One of us is going to die. You've ruined it. I was so excited. Over. And when Elsie goes home, so are you.
Yeah, you're leaving. You're not going to move in with Elsie. You're leaving.
Yes. So Toyah, Peter and Simon together in the bistro again later. Simon's getting a little bit worried about Harvey coming after him, and Toyah says, don't sweat it. He's in prison and he's not going to get his appeal. He's not going to be out for at least 10 years. So you're going to at least make it to your 30th birthday, Simon.
She's such a she's really put no thought into the long-term consequences of this really vindictive act that she's done by dropping them both in it, because she still thinks at this point that Sabine and Imran had slept with each other.
Oh yeah, she does, doesn't she?
So she's getting revenge on both of them.
I can't remember what made her think that it was her again.
Because she just assumed it was.
Well, no, but Imran had told her that it was some rando in a bar, hadn't she?
Oh, yeah, well, he's very trustworthy.
And, yeah, I mean...
Why would you believe that?
What didn't make sense about this was that, literally, Harvey was pulling Sharon's strings from inside prison not 6 months ago.
I know, but
so why doesn't Toyah think that he would do this now?
Her expression in the bar was like, oh, crap. I didn't actually think about this. I've put my nephew in danger.
Did she? Okay, fine.
Well, she kind of did look a bit like she didn't really believe sausage. When she was saying, don't worry about it. And sausages could be any...
You silly veggie sausage, Toyah, honestly.
I used to get sent press releases from the House of Lords or something about the status of meat what is it called? Fake meat products, and whether they're allowed to use the word sausages or burgers or whatever to describe themselves, and whether it was misleading to the consumer.
Why did you get this?
I don't know, because I'm signed up to some kind of big database of press releases.
When you started that, I thought you were going to say I used to get sent veggie sausages in the post.
We got those
you think
ones
that George
from
Taylor gets sent veggie sausages in the post? You know, like they used to send flowers to all the cast members and stuff when their husbands died. Anyway, so yes, she's saying don't sweat it, Simon. It's going to be absolutely fine. We put the kibosh on the appeal, but probably best not tell Leanne about this. So that's probably going to turn into something later when he knocks on the door, when Harvey knocks on Leanne's door and is like, all right, and she's like, bloody hell, what are you doing now? I didn't expect that. So anyway,
you know how in like sci-fi things they always have like a weird like catchphrase that they say to each other, like, you know, may the force be with you, or whatever they say on Star Trek to each other. You know what I mean? Like there's like a catchphrase, and they say it almost as a greeting to each other, like to sort of indicate that everybody's on the same page. I'm surprised that in soaps, when they sort of open, like, knock, open the door, no more secrets, how are you?
Yeah. So Imran's back with Toyah again later, saying, "Oh, he's just trying to make up excuses, isn't he? Saying, I just felt, really sad on the night of the appeal, and I was like really low, and it was a terrible, terrible mistake. So, forgive me." And
well,
she's like,
points
"No,
out,
he says,
listen." He says to her, think of all the things that have happened in your life, and you've forgiven everybody. And he gave a load of really good examples, and I can't remember. You haven't written them down. But they were really good ones. Like that time that
Les got the turkey run over.
I can't remember what they were.
There was a bit Dr. Ali who was talking about.
Oh, yeah. He's like, you basically ruined your whole career for this man that you don't even know. And you managed to see the good side of him, even though he was like a drug dealer, drug addict, murderer.
Yeah.
She's like,
You're not using that one. She is livid. You're not getting away that easily, mister. Well,
you haven't written down any of the particular typical man. You didn't follow any of the actual arguments. She said... You've like, this is all premeditated. You knew this about me. You knew that I'm a forgiving person and that I give people the benefit of the doubt and I try to see the good in them. And you've used that against me, and you're trying to get out of this by using my good nature against me, but it's not going to work.
I'm a Battersby.
I'm gonna never forget this.
She was. This is the most Battersby she's been for a while, isn't she?
And this
Good
was
on
like,
you.
Exactly. This is like what I've been saying. But the thing is, she's let herself get pushed to the very limit.
Yeah.
And then she's gone crazy. She should have, like, if she had got mad before now, there would have been a bit more wiggle room. There's none. He's out.
Yep. So Sabine, we next see, is in prison.
Snitch.
And it's Harvey. We've not seen Harvey for a long time. He's back, everybody. Will Mellor is back. It's almost like something special is going to happen next week. She's telling him what's what. The pill's dead in the water. Sorry about that, but it's not my fault. Blame Toyah Battersby.
I know, she's like
Leanne's sister.
A rat.
I know. And so Harvey blames her indeed. He's on the phone at the end of the episode. He's got his bum phone and he's saying, he's basically booking his escape. Isn't a taxi to Weatherfield Prison, please. I'm going to be escaping out of here on Monday at 7:30.
I'm sick and tired of being in prison. I think it's time for a change.
Yep. And that is the cliffhanger on which we are left at the end of Friday's episode.
Can I say, not keen particularly on Harvey Gaskell being the evil villain. I think this adds a layer of complexity that I didn't need.
I found that he wasn't quite as exciting as he was maybe built up to be in the spring, and he was rather quickly apprehended and locked away, and then he was just being the puppet master to Sharon. But maybe this is the opportunity for him to...
But the thing is, he's got the same problem, I think, that Sharon had, that they never got their hands dirty. So I can't imagine being, like, I can see he's obviously a lot more physically intimidating than Sharon was, and definitely looks like the sort of person who would beat you up.
Gemma, you don't need to be physically intimidating when you got a taser.
Taser.
Have it.
No, you're not allowed to, you've got to say taser, and then shoot.
Okay.
I don't know that Abbott is on the approved. Anyway, but the thing is, have we seen him rough anybody up?
We've just heard what he's done to Jacob.
Yeah, so we haven't I know they couldn't show it, but at the same time...
But now they can.
Yeah, but I'm not...
No, I think it was good.
Yeah, fine, good for you.
No, I thought it was quite a nice end to the week. I thought that they built it up nicely. Now, you said when we finished watching it today that you were a little bit disappointed that they didn't have it as a proper pre-big week music montage.
If you didn't know that it was Super Soap Week, if somehow you'd managed to miss that it was Super Soap Week next week, I don't know that you'd be like, ooh. I think you'd be like, I guess next week he's going to get out and attack people. I don't know because I do know it's Super Soap Week next week. There are different ways of preparing people, and I don't know. I don't want to be down on it. I'm just trying to give a different perspective.
No, it helped me get excited, actually.
It adds a layer of complexity that I wasn't, and it kind of come out of nowhere. And the reason I'm saying this is because for weeks and weeks and weeks, we've had Abby and Nina versus Corrie. And I was expecting next week to be some kind of divine retribution or karma against Corrie for what he did. Perhaps some kind of accident that takes place during a chase where they're trying to get one over on him and he turns the tables on them and they sort of run around and then he falls in the hole or off a bridge or gets run over by a tram or whatever it is. And now I've been wrong-footed by this whole other story where Toyah's... I don't think we have,
because I think it's going to be both of them. And I
think I know it's going to be both of them.
What's wrong with that?
I just said it adds a layer of complexity that I'm not bothered about.
Well, I think it's exciting, and what's cool for me is that whatever I may think about Imran and Abby, which we'll talk about in a minute, I'm really excited and, dare I say it, chuffed that Imran and Toyah are the catalyst for what's going on in next week's Super Soap Week. I think that's really cool that some of my favourite characters are the ones that are starting it all off.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like when Harvey Gaskell was saying to Sabine, what, Toyah Battersby? And she's like, yeah, Toyah Battersby is the one you've got to kill next week. I was like, ooh, Toyah's getting a shout out. Ooh,
I think it's brilliant.
A villain knows who Toyah is. This is exciting.
I know. I'm really, really excited by this. She's going to be fine. But I love the idea that he's going to have her in his sights next week. We saw some fab acting from Georgia and Charlie today fabulous. And Wednesday, didn't we? And there's going to be more.
When she called him, what was it?
Dirty pig.
A dirty something pig. What was it?
Oinking pig.
Can you look, please? Because you wrote it down.
Dirty little pig. Dirty. I don't know. My mouse isn't working. She called him. Keep
going,
She called him. Which day did she tell him?
Was that the beginning?
Oh, was it?
Hang on. Stop.
Where is it?
This is so frustrating for everybody listening.
Sorry.
Go.
She called him a dirty, stupid pig.
That's it. When she called him that...
There's 10 seconds of your life you're not going to get back, listeners.
It was like she cut everything with her words and her expression was so contemptuous and disgusted. It's like she lasered through the TV.
She just looked repulsed at him, didn't she?
It was fantastic. It was so just brilliant. The whole thing. Her disgust and betrayal. I just loved it. I thought it was great.
It was.
Because she wasn't crying as well. She wasn't like, some why would you do this?
And she totally could have done, couldn't she?
She was
because she has been not a weak character necessarily.
No, but... this is what she was saying to Imran. Like you think I'm weak and I forgive everybody no matter what. And I also like the way that Imran was going, look, you forgave so-and-so for this and you forgave thingy thing for that. What's different about me? I was like, well, she shags you. She didn't shag the rest of them. You're supposed to not shag anybody else. That's part of the deal.
So, but he did, and it was Abby.
We
so
know.
let's oh God, Gemma, what are we thinking about this? Because I'm so conflicted because I'm really excited by how this story's going, but whenever I get a little bit excited by it, I'm like, but no, they made Imran and Abby sleep with each other, and yet again, some of my favourite couples, some of my favourite characters have totally been thrown under the bus by the Corrie storyliners here. And what's the long-term ramifications of this going to be? Because we've already seen it with Fizz and Tyrone, loved them. We've seen it with Johnny and Jenny, loved them. And now we have absolutely had it with Imran and Toyah. It's literally like they took my list of my top 3. In fact, quite possibly, to be honest, the only 3 couples in Coronation Street that I actually really, really care for at the moment. Maybe the Steve and Tracy as well, and they were like, nope, splitting them up, screw you, Michael. That feels like to me what has happened this year, and I feel like Tyrone, I used to love him, and now it's like, I don't love you quite as much. Same with Jenny, I used to love her, I still do, but I've just got in the back of my head, why did you sleep with Uncle Ronnie? Why? You cheated on Johnny. And now both Imran and Abby, I love those characters. I just think a little bit less of, and it's really, really sad to me. And when we saw her walking up the alley on the end of Wednesday's episode, it's like, we knew it was coming, didn't we? That was our prediction, and we were excited about the possibility, and knowing about it or predicting it doesn't really make it any better. What's
I just thought it was funny because you did a nerdy little rant on Twitter, didn't you?
I did have a little mad tweet.
Like, well done, Coronation Street. You've ruined my life because everything you said.
I didn't want to come across as being like one of those sorts of Coronation Street fans, but I think I kind of did. I was hurt. Coronation Street is I feel personally under attack by the Coronation Street storyliners this year.
You are in an abusive relationship with Coronation Street, and it's time to walk away, which is basically what you got told by somebody, which I always love. If you get too passionate and you just like the way a show is going and you say it on Twitter, you will always get somebody saying, you don't have to watch it, or, it's not real.
I know.
If I could retire 2 phrases on our account, because there are many other triggering phrases on different accounts I have, I would retire those 2 because they're really boring.
Do you think less of Imran now? Do you hate him? Do you share Toyah's contempt for Mr. Habib?
You wrote you're really bummed out.
I did write that.
Yeah, that was triggering to some people. What's the question?
Do you hate Imran now? Or do you still like him? Because it was barely, it was Tuesday evening that we recorded the character profile of him, and we were scrabbling for excuses, and we were trying to say, oh yeah, but he can be forgiven. He's Imran, it's okay. Are you still feeling that now you know that he's been so manipulative and lying and nasty? And I think even if he'd slept with Abby and not tried to hide it and not tried to be manipulative about it, I might think, okay, fine. Because when Toyah forgave him and he was like, no more lies, hashtag no more secrets, I didn't know this person in the bar, I was like, okay, that's fine. But then they go and show that he's just lying, and I'm like, oh, why do you do this to me? What about you?
I don't know. I think one of the things about important thing about marriage and or having a good relationship is that only one person can get stressed or lose their crap over something at once. Like, we can't both go mad about something because then we'll just go into a spiral of despair. Like that time we both convinced ourselves that it was the end of Coronation Street as we know it because they loaded all the episodes at the beginning of the week. And we had like an hour-long rant about it as the end of Soaps as we know it. That was like us completely out of control and just losing our minds about something as a couple. And it's like a folie à deux where you just kind of escalate each other's paranoia. And I think that sometimes when you Michael get really stressed about a particular plot point, I kind of find myself detaching from it to sort of save the sanity of the group. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not really mad about it.
You're not?
I've kind of like, yeah, I'm trying not to concern myself with it too much. But I also, like I said before, I'm trying to understand the mind of somebody who does this, and I can only think that there's something different about the way that they perceive things that is fundamentally different from the way that I do.
I think it's definitely in Abby's personality, because she's so self-destructive, and she does things.
Imran has demonstrated that he's done this before. This is the thing. If you haven't listened to our character profile of Imran, you should, even though it's a bit out of date now because we didn't know at the time who he had slept with. But there are so many things about Imran's personality that is a very consistent pattern in his behaviour, and I don't know that it was entirely deliberate on the part of the script writers, or if it's just a sort of an accident of the sort of storylines that he's been involved in because of being a lawyer or whatever it is. But he's very, very consistent, and his pattern of behaviours are always the same. And this is just a kind of return to form to him. But if you're a person who just cannot forgive, see, some people can. And some people have relationships where, don't tell me about it, just get on with it, and I don't want to know. You know, and that, if that's how it works for you, fine. But some people, like I think Toyah and myself and you, I hope, would never or could never do or forgive it being done to them.
Yeah, I think it was very clear that Imran and Toyah were not in an open relationship. But
we've just seen recently Toyah's exit storyline, the first time she left the show back in 2003, was because her boyfriend slept with Maria, or Maria slept with her boyfriend, and well, you know, there was a whole thing where Maria kind of made out that he raped her and stuff, and it triggered a load of stuff because Toyah had been raped herself. But partly it was the cheating. So she's had this done to her before, but she also confessed to Peter. And you didn't say this when we were doing the story just now, but she also said to Peter that that's how she got together with him.
Yeah,
because she was married when she first started going out with Peter, Greg. And good old Greg. What happened? You know, what in her mind then? How does she justify that? Yeah, she must think to herself, is she thinking, because that led to the end of her marriage. She obviously had checked out at that point of that relationship. So is she thinking how could you do that to somebody you still loved? Because I couldn't. Do you know what I mean?
But she did.
It's very interesting to kind of look at the character histories here and put together.
Everyone's a hypocrite, basically.
But we are as well. Everybody, look, human beings are hypocrites, and you can't convince me otherwise. That's one of the biggest failings of everybody, including me. We all are. Just I think that the first stage is accepting that's a fact. Yeah, yeah. I thought it was good of Toyah to forgive him the first time, and I was kind of surprised when she did. But then she was like, no. Well, she said to him, look, I'll try my best because I do love you. And that's the thing that's the most heartbreaking part about the whole thing.
They clearly
She keeps saying, I loved you.
And he has made it very, very clear that he loves her as well.
I know.
But his kind of love involves occasionally dropping your drawers for somebody else, isn't it?
But his face when he's looking at her and he's saying, you know, and he can see, I've made the biggest mistake of my life. And I desperately, we've both done this to each other, done something, screwed up in some way, and just gone, please, can you not make this too much of a big thing?
Yeah, we have. Everyone has in a relationship. You said it was a consistent pattern for Imran, but I think this is the biggest it's ever been, because I don't know what the canon is for why he and Sabine split up at the moment, because one time it was a kiss and now it appears like it's something more. And yes, he was cheating on Leanne with Toyah back a few years ago, but they weren't in a committed relationship then. The fact that he was in a family, they were getting a kid, they'd been in a relationship for so long, they clearly madly in love with each other and committed to each other. I think this is stepping it one step further. I really find it difficult to believe that he would have done it.
Well, he did. And the thing about it is that it's a vice that he clearly has. But there are other characters who have other vices that are just as destructive. Like Ed and his gambling, or Peter and his alcoholism.
Toyah and her vegetarianism.
She won't stop eating carrots. But you see what I mean? Like, that's this a similar kind of thing where everybody who's outside of that can go, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? Abby, with drugs. You know that this is wrong, but something about the human mind is like a moth to a flame with some of these things.
Do you think that this is actually the end for Imran and Toyah?
I can't believe it is. If it is.
It'd be so... I just think it's so incredibly short-sighted of Coronation Street if it is. Because, I mean, okay, they're no Stan and Hilda. They're no Jack and Vera. I don't like your tone of voice
when you do this.
But... God, keep them together. Keep any couple together, Coronation Street. Come on, please. Why do you have to split them all up after, a few years in? It's like, Rita's probably got a whole stack of 5th year anniversary cards just waiting to be sold in the cabin. It's like, oh, this couple nearly made it.
No, when Brian and Gabby took over, she's like... They start to tick on the stock and she just puts their hand on the pen and go, no, you don't need those around here.
Don't need those ones. Oh God, it's so sad. Please just find some way to get them back together. My hope, what I'm clinging on to, is the fact that their love for each other was clearly very, very strong.
So pure.
And hopefully unbreakable, but he has massively betrayed her. So it wouldn't surprise me if she doesn't ever want to take him back. But I hope they find a way to make it happen.
But the thing is, like, Carla and Peter have, like, done this so many times. Why not Toyah and Imran? And the other thing I was thinking of the other day was, because we're watching, like we've said before many times, we're watching old episodes of Coronation Street. And I always get struck by the relationship that Kevin and Sally have with each other now. There was a scene with them this week, I can't remember what it was, but I think she was asking him if he was alright because of Abby and stuff. And I was thinking, isn't it interesting? Would Kevin and Sally ever get that together? How interesting. I wonder if they would ever do that. If I was a producer, I'd definitely have that on my whiteboard of ideas.
Well,
I don't know if it would be a good idea. I don't know if it would be a good idea, but it's certainly something that I can't imagine ever happening, which makes me think it might be a good idea to do it. Would Toyah and Imran ever end up being like friends that have been through it,
I mean,
I don't know. They're very sensible.
It's like, Carla and Peter, they've been on and off more times than...
That's what I said. Yeah.
And Leanne and Nick.
Yes.
As well. So
are they the new? Because we don't have a couple like that, a new one.
Not particularly. I so hope so. I suppose the problem as well with this at the moment is Toyah still doesn't know the whole truth.
Exactly.
Because she doesn't know it's Abby, and that's just going to be an extra layer of betrayal. That makes me
think that there's going to be a reconciliation. Because it wouldn't make any difference if she found out now, because she's like, well, I've dumped him anyway.
Unless Abby's one of the ones that does die next week and she takes that secret to her grave
and
along with Imran's baby.
Imran's like...
Dodged a bullet there. I don't... the thing is, it has got to come out. It has 100% got to come out, hasn't it? And I just hope it's sooner rather than later, because the last thing that... It will. And the last thing that I want is for them to get back together and everything to seem hunky-dory.
This is what I think's going to happen.
And then, this time next year or whatever, it's like, oh yeah, it was Abby. I mean, should it make any difference? I suppose, is the biggest problem that it was Abby, or is the biggest problem that he lied about who it was?
Yeah.
Because is Abby anything to Toyah? I don't know whether they're particularly mates.
No, they're not friends, really, but... They did have that altercation, didn't they? And Abby was confronting Imran and Toyah, and later Toyah was like, well, she's got a point. And didn't she go and apologise to her?
Maybe.
They definitely had a weird interaction.
Well, there were a few things in the court scenes, weren't there? There were a few Abby and Toyah scenes where they had moments.
Yeah, but it's weird, isn't it? Don't you think it's weird that this is like...
Which have new significance now if we were to go back and rewatch. Because I can't remember what order things happen in as well. Because everything that happened with the fact that Imran and Abby slept with each other makes us think about, that time a few weeks ago where Kevin hit Imran and he wasn't pushing to sue Imran, sue Kevin. I mean, sorry.
Yeah.
And I said at the time, well, maybe that's because he feels guilty about sleeping with Kevin's fiance.
Yeah.
So, but no, I don't think that, you know, maybe she does their MOT, and
for free.
How could you do that? But
no, I was going to say something. I can't remember what it is.
I don't know. I don't know. It's horrible. It's so horrible. But
I was going to say, is it quite interesting that this whole thing is revolving around Imran rather than Abby? Like, Abby's this is like a very inconsequential part of Abby's story this week, but it's like Imran's major deal. And it's kind of funny that it's kind of hit that way, where normally when you have a soap affair like this, both characters are kind of like anxiously pacing around.
Yeah,
going,
they've not really moved in.
But Abby's like, whatever, Imran,
circles
whatever,
at all.
who cares? I've got people to shoot.
Yeah.
Are you done?
Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyone here gonna get shot next week? Imran? Is Imran gonna be dead next week? Better bloody not be. Is he one of your theories?
I really hope Imran doesn't die, because I don't feel like the character has.
There's a lot more that
there's so much more, and also I would hate to lose that thing with Toyah and Imran, like the potential. But I kind of think it feels a bit like it might be. Oh, what if he jumps in the way of the gun and he gets shot? And Toyah was supposed to get shot.
Oh yeah, if Harvey comes after Toyah and he sacrifices himself. Oh gosh. I don't even want to think about it. Now I'm just trying to think about conversations that we've had with Charlie about when he's been in with work, and I can't remember.
What if he sort of jumps in front with Elsie?
That's all right. Elsie can
uses
take
her as
it.
like I said, human shield.
Oh my gosh, Imran better not be dead. So
I'll get so mad.
I will get so mad. Gemma, we're going to move on to that, because believe it or not, there have been other characters this week.
I
like
know.
Leo de Janeiro. This is a bit of an odd story, isn't it? Also, the stuff with Johnny has been in this. I've bundled all this together. So, Daisy at the beginning of Monday's episodes is still kind of pining after Daniel, in the pub. And Jenny says, no, not Daniel. Leo, look how great Leo is. Oh, here he is now. He just happens to walk in with a big old bunch of flowers. And Monday's episodes, and lovely pink and white flowers. And Daisy's like, whatever. She's not impressed. And then Leo starts complimenting Jenny. I can't remember whether Daisy was there at that point. Maybe she wasn't. And I know she was. Daisy's gone, and he's saying, "Oh, well, you're not old, Jenny." And she thinks that he's buttering her up to get to Daisy. So Daisy later on has got these flowers in the back of the Rovers, and Jenny's like, "Oh, just give Leo a chance, stick the flowers in the vase or something." And when she does, she finds a little note in the bottom of the box, and it says, "To Jay." And as we know from the sign that's no longer on the wall in the back of the Rovers, that's the letter that Jenny's name starts with. And she does not know what to think with this. Even though everybody else, it seems, predicted that Leo's going to have the hots for Jenny, she didn't see it coming. So, Wednesday. Daisy's still going on about Leo to Jenny, and Johnny's there as well. He seems happy for it. It's been nice seeing Johnny happy for Jenny this week, hasn't it? He's been happy that she's moved on from him. And Jenny's like, no, I don't need to go out with Leo. It's all right. I'd rather be a sad old cat lady than go out with her and be a cougar. So Leo comes into the Rovers later, and he says, look, there's a mix-up with the flowers. Sorry, Daisy, that they weren't for you. And then Daisy's like, I know, they were for Jenny, who is currently ducking behind the bar to try and hide from you, and then she has to kind of pop out like at that. Do you remember that surprise party? I can't remember who it was. When they were at the bistro, and Jenny and the rest of the Connors popped out to say surprise to somebody. I don't remember who that one was. Somebody can tell us. And he says, look, we need to go for a drink, and she's starting to seem tempted. Now, meanwhile, Carla finds Johnny in the cafe, and he's feeling a bit sorry for himself. Carla Barla, she called herself by her full name today, didn't she? It sounds so funny.
Carla Barla.
Nearly. And she invites him, back to the factory to manage it with her, to, get his life back on track again. He seems quite up for this after the whole failed landlord thing, and just since then he's been bumming around for the past 8 months. So Carla and Johnny go to the bistro later. Beth comes along because she's been told she can observe some management meeting. I don't really know what's going on there. Beth, management, fluffy pen.
This came out completely out of nowhere.
What's going on with this?
It didn't make
why
any
would
sense.
Carla even
of all the
entertain the
employees that
idea?
she's got? I mean, to think that she had Izzy on a Zoom call crying her eyes out, saying, "Look, I don't think I can physically cope with demands of this manual labour that you're asking me to do." And she's like, "I've got a position in management, which is just sitting on your ass with a fluffy pen. Who should I give it to?"
She also had a Boss Babe notebook or something, didn't she?
Yeah. Why Beth of all people? She's completely
useless.
undiplomatic. She probably can't
Yeah, it's a
spell.
massive gossip.
Don't want to be rude.
She's not...
I don't imagine she's got very good administrative skills.
No. Anyway.
She's eating food off people's plates.
Oh yeah, she took his extra fish and chips, didn't she? Anyway, so they go there for this meeting, and they meet up with this bloke who's thrilled to see that Johnny is back, and he's there like he's all dapper, isn't he? He's got his suit on. I love seeing Johnny back. Back in the suit on and back with a bit of power, because he's been a bit of a sad old man for quite a long time now, and I did enjoy that, but it didn't last, sadly. And Beth's had her nose put right out of joint. Johnny's trying to do this deal, but then is kind of thrown off his strides a little bit when Jenny and Leo walk in. Carla has to rescue him, and he goes like, "Oh, I can't do this anymore." And he makes his excuses and leaves. Later, Leo's telling Jenny, "You're really lovely and funny, and also really hot." And she's starting to warm up to the idea. She's hot, but she's starting to warm up to the idea. Beth is continuing to make a massive show about herself. This is when she tries to get the doggy bag for this bloke's food for herself. And Beth tells Carla when this bloke's in the loo, "And your dad, who was a bit useless earlier, wasn't he?" And Carla is offended by this. Johnny, meanwhile, is catching up with Jenny, well, not meanwhile, later on, and says, "Oh, I feel like a right cradle snatcher going out with this Leo." And he's like, "Well, we weren't exactly in the same year at school ourselves, were we? And you should fill your boots, love. Fancy a chat." But then Leo shows up and it's all a bit awkward, so he has to leave there as well. Natasha speaks to Johnny towards the end of the episode about kids, and she kind of puts her foot in it by asking about Aiden. And he has to say, "Oh no, he's dead. But I've got Kate, she's the other side of the world somewhere." And she's like, "You go off and see her." And he's like, "Yeah, I probably should actually. I need to go jetting around the world." And this is kind of leading into Friday when he's got a new lease on life. Very end of the episode though, we've got Jenny in the back room with Leo, and he's very keen for a good hard shagging. And she's up for it too. So up they go, up them stairs. And she starts the episode on Friday very proud of herself. She's there in her nightie, isn't she? And she's flaunting Leo on the street, coming out the front of the Rovers. Beth's there,
Going, "Hey!"
agog. And but Daisy is just like squealing with the excitement that her stepmom's been spending the night at it.
I don't have this kind of relationship with anybody. No. I don't get it at all. It's so funny.
So Beth's gossiping at the factory about Jenny later, and Johnny comes along and is like, "Stop, don't you talk to her about that. Have a bit of respect." And Beth's got zero respect for Johnny herself, because she saw that he was a bit useless at the beast yesterday.
Not believe, honestly.
So she has a go at him. If you want more proof that she's not management potential whatsoever, the fact that she was
what has she got on Carla that she can just say that about her dad?
I know.
Such a really
she needs to get reprimanded.
Honestly, at any other day, Beth would have been fired for that.
I know.
Never mind being told to get on with her job and being a manager.
Yeah, Carla comes along and says, "You can't speak to him like that." And Beth's like, "Well, it was a bit rubbish with him yesterday, wasn't he?" And Johnny's listening to this and he's like, "Oh, I'm so sad." So Carla finds him having a bit of a mope in the pub later, and he's like, "Beth's right, I'm past it. It's time to move on and live life for myself. I'm going to move away, get out of Maudsley Street." And it's really nice to see him feeling very positive about this move. He's going to go to visit Kate. He's going to do whatever he pleases. He's got his savings to spend, and he says, I never wanted to move away from the street because I feel like I'll be leaving Aiden behind, but you know what, he's here in my heart and I take him with me.
That's true.
And I'm also very happy for Jenny as well, and he watches Leo perving over Jenny's arse at the end of the episode, and Jenny's she has got a nice arse, hasn't she?
She's always wanted someone to perv over her arse like that, and it used to be me, but not anymore.
Yeah. So,
Well, good for you. I was like saying to you, is he leaving? Is he going? What's going on?
If he doesn't
is he going to get shot?
Do you think
so?
is there. I would almost say that he's going to be at number 1 in my hit list next week. Really? And I am gutted by this. And this is my revelation to myself during tonight's episode. Because Richard Hawley has been not doing very much on Coronation Street for a good 2 years, year and a half at least, and I loved Johnny, and it was really nice seeing him getting some decent, solid, warm scenes.
As the landlord.
He was awesome landlord. He's such a warm, kind-hearted soul, and tonight's episodes where he's like, oh, I got the rest of my life ahead of me. My future's going to be great. If that's not foreshadowing, sorry, I don't know what is.
There are very few characters on the show who exude that easygoing, like, salt of the earth, northern gent like Johnny does.
No.
Like, he's an easygoing, charming, relaxed, very laid back kind of a guy. And I don't think there's anybody else like him.
There's not at the moment, I don't think.
And he was great as the landlord. I never would have really put him in the Rovers, but he worked really well in there. I thought he was good.
Yeah.
And he and Jenny worked really well together. So my prediction now is that Toyah's about to be shot, and Imran jumps in front of her to save her, and then Johnny jumps in front of him.
Just a whole line of people jumping in front of each other.
Like, foo, 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 foo. And Harvey's there going, oh, okay, all right, if you line up with your heads against each other, I might be able to get 3.
All of you at once, yeah. I really think that he could be for the chopping block. And I've got no idea about the circumstance. I don't know whether this is Richard Hawley saying, I don't want to be in it anymore, or whether Ian McLeod has said, fancy a bit of a...
Can I just say, I honestly think that he is going to leave, but I think he's going to knapsack in a taxi.
I'd rather it was that. But then if he dies, that could be quite exciting. I'd love to see Jenny's reaction, and is she going to realise I never actually stopped loving him? Because the thing with Leo is I do not see him as a permanent character. He is a bit character supreme. She is not going to be shacking up with him in a month time, let alone 5 years time. So there's got to be something that splits them up. I still think it's fine, this story. I think it's a little odd. Maybe.
One thing I will say...
I've got a thing about an age difference.
I know you do. Listen.
People who've listened to the podcast long enough will know this.
One thing I will say that would be quite like a good side effect if Johnny died, almost can guarantee that Kate would never come back.
That is a bonus, isn't it? and the Connors on the street would be dwindled down to like
the Connors.
Carla and Jenny.
Yeah, but she's Carla Barla.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And you've always thought of Jenny as...
Jenny Bradley, isn't she? She is Jenny Bradley.
Get rid of the Connors.
Who'd have thought it? That's Ian McLeod's legacy.
That's my little,
Because earlier on in the week, before I was thinking this, I was thinking, maybe Johnny's going to realise that actually he does want to get back together with Jenny, and she wants to get back to him, because since the past 2 or 3 months since Richard Hawley's been in it a little bit more, we've seen this lovely post-marriage friendship. Haven't we, between Johnny and Jenny? And I think, if you like each other this much, just get back together again. You were brilliant together. Why did they have to split you up this year? But now I'm thinking, no, he's gone. He's going to be Johnny Goner, I tell you.
No.
Oh gosh, I think it might be.
No, why have you done this?
Gutting. But at least... I'm already getting anxious and sad about the potential of so many of my favourite characters being killed off next week. And it's like, they can't all die. It can't be Abby and Imran and Jenny and Johnny and Toyah and, literally every one of my favourite characters can't all die next week. It might end up at the end of the day just being Harvey and Corrie. But then would that be a little bit disappointing if it's just the rubbish baddies that die?
But I don't want anyone else.
I don't want anybody who's involved in these big stories that are leading up to Super Soap Week to die.
No, I know. Me too.
Apart from, and maybe we move on to the next story next, I think maybe it could possibly be Natasha's time.
Yeah, I think Natasha could sacrifice her life.
And anything else to add about the Jenny, Leo, Johnny quagmire that's going on here? Some people, I suppose, earlier this week were saying online maybe Leo's got some kind of hidden agenda.
That would just be too complicated for all the other things that are going on. It seems like he's just a decent
bloke that looks a little bit like a buff Andy McDonald. Don't you think? Does anybody else think this? I think he looks like Andy McDonald slightly. Okay, Gemma, we've got the salon,
He looks like someone, and I can't put my finger on it, but does he look a bit like the guy that used to be going out with Craig Charles's girlfriend, who had a brain tumour?
Huh?
You know in Craig Charles's character, Lloyd had a girlfriend who had an ex-husband.
Oh,
not Andrea.
Oh, Cheryl. Did he look like Chris?
Cheryl,
sorry. And Chris was... No, I don't think that...
No, I'm thinking of someone else then.
No.
Doesn't matter.
I think Annie McDonald.
You know what? We have been gunning for Natasha to die almost since... Gunny. Since she first came back. We were
literally, the moment she stepped on the street with her son, it's like, she's her days are numbered. This has been a year now she's been on the street,
If we were like... If there was a soap about this soap, and like if we were characters in it, we'd be like the Dowager Duchess, and every time we saw Natasha, we'd be like, "Aren't you dead yet?"
This could be the week
because
I personally,
Sam has got prime orphan stamped on his forehead, hasn't he? He's just raring to be an orphan.
Oh yeah.
He's totally so precocious. They make the best orphans.
I thought there was a word there that you knew that I didn't know. Primorphan.
Primorphan.
You're such a primorphan. No, Natasha has she's had a target on her back since she came in, and I'm really stunned that she's still here.
At the end of the week, she's going, "Oh, I'm going to have a salon."
Yes, exactly.
And change my life.
And Johnny's like, "Well, I'm going to have a brilliant future as well. You can have a brilliant future. We're both going to have a brilliant future."
Doesn't life look good?
And also, the Alahans are going to have a lovely holiday together.
Everybody's
got a positive outlook almost by the end of this week.
If I had no idea whatsoever about anything that's going on in Super Soap Week, I'd be thinking that there's going to be a horrible fishing accident that's going to kill Asher. Anyway, on Monday, Natasha and Sam are chewing the fat about how much he loves being around Weatherfield. Dev catches Natasha eyeing up the salon.
Despite all the pollution and everything.
She admits she's thinking of buying it from Debbie, and he says, "Laura, let me offer you some business advice." And she's like, "Look, I'm no spring chicken," or whatever she said.
She says, "I'm no ditz.
I'm not an idiot. I know about things." And she's like, "Oh yeah, maybe I'll add it to my portfolio of salons. I've got hundreds of them." And he doesn't come back with, "Oh well, I own a shop and a kebab."
No, he does. He does come back with that, yeah.
Right, well...
He says, I've got many businesses. I have a kebab shop, I have fish and chip shop, I have shops.
And I don't... And I don't shag anyone in them anymore. I used to do that, but now I don't. So, Businessman of the Year. Dev and Natasha have a friendly chat in the pub. Bernie watches with interest. On Wednesday, Sam is looking through the salon letterbox and Natasha's saying, "Oh, I'm going to modernise it. Oh, no more."
Yeah, she says goodbye Blue Rinse Brigade, doesn't she? So Phyllis Pierce, who I assure is still alive and kicking, is going to have to find somewhere else to get her do done now. What about the Renshaw twins, everybody?
Natasha tells Audrey that she's thinking of buying... And Dev, she sees Dev some waves, and he's like, "Ooh."
He was so funny. He's like, "Go giddy this week,"
I know,
wasn't he?
There was a bit where he had his hands up to his cheeks.
He was like
excited, like a little. He's
she
like,
loves me. She loves me now.
He's like an anime meme of like one of those with a big like black eyes with the stars in them, and wavy crying lines going down his cheeks.
Every time he sees Natasha.
Well, also he had that reaction when Ardy suggested they go on holiday together, and
oh yes, he was, wasn't he?
Yeah. Bernie listens with Bernie listens with interest when Dev's talking to Ardy about how great Natasha is, and then Gail comes into the cafe and says, "Oh, Natasha, you said you fixed the sinkhole. Can you actually do that?"
Yes, I can't believe Natasha tried to wriggle out of paying for the sinkhole.
I can't believe she was kind of borderline offended. And also, why is Gail checking now? She's had this work booked.
Yeah.
Natasha offered to do this like months ago. Wouldn't you have booked this in before now? And Gail's going, "Oh, I'm getting really anxious about the kids falling in." Honestly, Gail, love, if they haven't fallen in by now, it's fine.
I know. This sinkhole has been here over a year. And now why is only now? If you were that concerned about it...
She's like, "Natasha, I've seen the front of a soap magazine and it says that there's some kind of horror thing going on. And I'm actually getting paranoid now that the sinkhole is going to be involved. We need to fill this in before somebody falls in it. Late.
No, I'm thinking, like, if she was that worried about it, and Audrey had the money sitting in her account, because this is how this ends, isn't it? Audrey says, I'll pay for it. Why didn't she offer to pay for it before? That there's a literal death trap in their garden for a year.
Literally. And can I also just point out that since she's been worrying about this death trap, Gail's like, oh, I've got a potentially murderous hole in my garden. What should I do? I need money to be able to fill it in.
Yeah.
Let's just go to Bali.
Off to Thailand, yeah.
You could have saved the money and filled your hole in.
With money.
Literally with rolled up 50s.
Yeah, it was a bit of a Scrooge McDuck swimming pool in the back garden.
Fun. Then you could charge people to swim in it.
Yeah.
But they'd probably steal the money out, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Oh, ups and downs of every idea. Gail, Natasha's like, Natasha says, oh, I thought you had it covered. No, it's not covered. That's the problem. Gail says, no, I'm worried about this. And Natasha says, oh, of course I'll pay for it. And then she says, oh, well, sounds like I can't buy the salon now. You must have had this money when you offered to give it to her.
Yeah. I don't know whether we missed something. But it was a long time ago that she offered to...
Well, we didn't miss anything because Natasha clearly told Deb that she's not a ditz. So she can't have forgotten about it, even though she clearly has. Bernie splashes Natasha with mop water on the street and then brings the subject of Dev up. And Natasha's like, oh no, I don't fancy him. We're just friends. Bernie goes to Deb and tells him this. No, tells him that Natasha's got the hots for him. And then he chats her up when he comes to the shop. And he's like, oh, come to the bistro. And she says, oh, no, I'm not really interested in that. And Bernie's like, they're going, ha, 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 ha. This is the best joke anyone's ever played. What a genius I am.
I don't like Bernie sometimes.
This didn't make it. This was like weird.
Cruel.
Dev's like, why are you being such a dick, Bernie? Are you jealous? And she's like, no. Audrey sees Natasha in the street.
They're clearly, they seem to be working towards some kind of pairing between Bernie and Dev, and we've seen this before, haven't we?
Well, they had a fling.
They did have a bit of a fling, but I'm not seeing it.
Anyway, Audrey sees Natasha in the street and Natasha's like, oh, I can't buy the salon anymore because I've got to fill up the sinkhole because I said I would. Oh, I can't believe Gail remembered. And Audrey's upset because she had heard Natasha's plans for it, and she said she was going to keep it to be called Audrey, didn't she? She buttered her up, and she also said she wanted to keep it in the family, which flattered Audrey, didn't she? She was all like, she's like, oh, that's good, and now she's sad because Natasha's not buying it.
But Natasha had also told Sam that she was going to call it Blakeman's, like all her other salons, didn't she?
Well, she told Audrey she's keeping the name. On Friday, Ardy's asking for an advance on his wages. You wrote that.
I did write that.
Dev,
an advance.
Dev is banging on about Natasha, and then Ardy says, why don't we go on holiday in a chalet? I'll pay for it. There'll be ladies and mini golf. And Dev's like, brilliant. In the cafe, Gail tells Audrey about Natasha offering to pay for the sinkhole, and Audrey says, well, she was going to buy the salon. And Gail's like, oh, well, I can't give her the money back now because I've already given it to Leo to fill the hole up. These people. Natasha
finds out that Gail's going to be going to London for the weekend with
Gail
Audrey.
And Audrey are going, yeah, she's
jolly.
like, Audrey's like, Gail's so sad. We're going to go to London because I'm rich. Also, I'm going to pay for the sinkhole so you can buy the salon. And Natasha's like, she sits down and she picks up a glass of champagne and she's like, great, what are we toasting? And Audrey's like, oh, we're going to London. And Natasha's like, great, I'll give you a lift. And if I was Audrey, I'd be like, give me the champagne back then. But Audrey didn't say a dicky bird, did she? Anyway, Natasha's like, oh, I must rush off then. Do you mind? Because I want to actually buy the salon. And I'm worried somebody else has bought it. Dev talks to Mary about how proud he is of Ardy and how nice it is that he wanted to go on holiday with him. And he's getting all excited about going fishing and stuff. And Ardy's like, why don't we go quad biking? Maybe we could have an accident, like Ozzy Osbourne or something like that. That could go on a soap magazine front.
Did Ozzy Osbourne have a quad bike accident?
Yeah.
I always think about Rick Mail having a quad bike accident whenever I hear about quad bikes.
I think quad bikes and helicopters are the only thing stopping the rich from completely taking over the planet. Asha comes in. She's all stroppy because she's been moping over Nina and she keeps getting rebuffed. because she can't take a bloody hint. So Dev's like, Ardy, we got to let Asha come along on holiday. So she proceeds to completely ruin everything by saying she wants to go shopping and stay in a hotel, not in a chalet. So Nick and Leanne return from their jollies to hear about Natasha buying the salon. Everyone's really happy. They're like, this will be great because we'll all be a happy family and Natasha can have this salon and Sam will be living nearby, all happy families, and Natasha will definitely not be dead.
If anybody could die next week, I totally would throw Natasha in that sinkhole.
I would sacrifice Natasha.
I would sacrifice Natasha in a heartbeat.
It would
over
definitely
pretty much
be
anyone.
Pretty ironic that she died in the sinkhole that she refused to pay for.
Yeah, if only you'd paid to build it up sooner,
Now,
Natasha.
if anyone's going to get karma, that's surely deserved. Anyway, the Alahans are packing, and Ardy's mad because he doesn't even think that they need fishing wires anymore.
Well, because they're going to go to a fancy non-caravan place,
and they're going to go to a shopping trip.
Yeah.
Now, what about Coronation Street, Super Soap Week, horrible, trauma, blood and violence, when Ardy and Dev are going fishing and they cast off right as Asha comes, when are we going to go shopping? And then it hooks in her cheek.
Ooh, gross.
And then her face rips off.
Maybe. I don't know what's going to go on with this. Are they going to escape Super Soap Week?
I don't get it. Are they going to come? Are they on Monday? They're going to be like, that was great.
I don't know. I really don't know what this is about. I as much as I love the Alahan scenes together, it felt very superfluous.
It would be good if they weren't going to be around next week, because it means that they're all safe.
Yes, that's very true.
But Asha could very well.
Asha is a fairly key player in the Corrie story.
So we've got Corrie. Who we got? Corrie threatening to shoot. No,
Harvey's
hang on a minute.
Shoot
no. Listen. We got Harvey going to shoot Toyah. Imran jumps in front of her. Then Johnny jumps in front of him. And then Nina jumps in front of him. And then Asha jumps in front of her.
Yeah. And then Natasha.
And then Natasha's like, this is stupid now. Just shoot me and get it over and done with. Nobody likes me around here anyway.
I don't want the salon to change. I don't want Natasha in charge of the salon. She's... I don't know, I'm really in a minority with her. But Natasha is just meaningless to me. She's all right, but I just have got, 10 years ago, Natasha in my head when she was a side character until the very end. And she still is a side character this year. There's just something about her that can't be a main character. And
she is just a very Sam's mum character, and there aren't very many characters. She swans off and
comes back after 3 months or whatever.
There aren't very many characters on Coronation Street who could be described as, oh, that's so and so's mum, or that's so and so's dad.
She doesn't have a personality beyond that. She's been the thorn in Nick's side for the past 12 months, and I don't need her in charge of the salon. It's kind of sad if Audrey's not going to go back there, but at the end of the day, it is still a bit silly that they've got 2 hairdressers in Coronation Street, but...
Well, they've got barbers and hairdressers.
Yeah, but I just don't need her there. And if she did, she'd suddenly forget the rest of her hairdressing empire and only ever stay there probably, or maybe she'd go off every now and again every time they want Nick to look after Sam. But the shake-up there, they certainly don't need a shake-up, because I thought that the trim up north was for all the trendies. So where is Evelyn going to go and get her fabulous do done if...
well, it'd be quite funny if Natasha was like, I'm going to change everything and make it all different. And then the people just kept coming in and going, can I just have a blue rinse, please? I want my hair curled. And she was forced to just capitulate to the demands of the Weatherfield
although we do
fogies.
say that sometimes Coronation Street is a bit stuck in its past and it's afraid of change sometimes, which is why they won't get rid of the knicker factory.
Well, this is my question, okay?
But I just don't want Natasha there.
Is there something about being an old lady that makes you get short hair? Am I going to get old lady short hair? Or when I'm old, will old ladies have different hair? Because honestly, I think the older you get as a woman, the more you start to think, who cares? I'll just cut my hair off. This is a waste of time. And also, I think your hair gets more brittle as you age, so it's harder for it to stay longer. I think I might get a blue rinse.
Nice. Then we go as Phyllis and Percy to a Halloween party in 50 years' time then. Okay,
50?
you're on.
No.
30.
I'm not talking about In the future.
Oh, okay. Right, let's just finish this off then. So we had a bit of the characters' profile story. There was some random scene about jacket potatoes with cheese where Craig seems to be avoiding the Baileys, and then he catches up with them in the pub and's like, oh, don't know what to say to you, really. And then he does a bit of a public service announcement about... yeah, he says, oh, I'm a coward about this. And Michael says, look, just learn your lesson. Don't enable racists. And Craig's like, you know what? It's really important not to support racist people when they do racist things. Everybody, that's it. End of story. And then there wasn't anything more than that, was it? It just felt like, oh, we better finish this storyline off. Got to make this look positive. Maybe Craig's going to jump in front of the bullet.
Well, he's the only one who has any business jumping in front of bullets.
Unless I missed anything, I don't think there was anything else in that story. But same with the I'd like Zidane payment, please, which was basically Hashim reminding everybody, I want my money, Zidane. And Zidane's like, I don't have your money, but I need it for my laundering. And then also Yasmin telling Zidane, I've hired Naveed back in the kitchen. And he's like, fine, whatever.
Who cares? I've got other things to worry about.
And Alia says... he wants to have a look at the money, but in speed dial, doesn't he? Because Hashim said that if you can, fiddle the books a little bit,
to do it.
Yeah, and then we can get our laundry service going. And so he's like, can I have a look at the money, Yasmin? And she's like, no. He gets a bit mad about it, and Alia says, it's all right, Zidane. She just doesn't want another Jeff situation where some man is in charge of the speed dial finances. Don't take it to heart.
Yeah, so quickly say, because I saw somebody on our Facebook group saying that they don't understand what money laundering is and how it works, and they surely cannot be the only person who doesn't know this. The most simplest way to explain it is, if you've got a restaurant where nobody's keeping tabs on how much you pay for things and how many people come in and how they pay, you can say, I had 100 customers today and I took £1,000, but you could have had 5 people and took 50 quid. And all that extra money is money that's come from criminal enterprises like drugs or whatever, trafficking maybe, and you put that through, and then when it comes out the other end, it's completely legitimate money that you can use, because you can't, if you're in this country, you suddenly have got all this money from nowhere, people will find out that you've been making money from being a naughty criminal. So you need to make this money appear legal in some manner. So you have to put it through a business. And restaurants, and in Breaking Bad there was a car wash. Anything that has cash, lots of cash, and also sort of nebulous expenses and incomings and outgoings. Because who's to say how much you spent on tomatoes? You could spend £5 on tomatoes, we could spend 50p. You don't need to explain, as long as you can make it look like that's where the money went.
Thank you.
That's how you.
That's how you. People are going to go and do it now. They're going to say, Gemma told me to do it. You're going to get in trouble. You're going to get a knock on the door by the police.
Tez, now he's got this £2,000 for Gunny.
Yeah. He's
going to go to the restaurant and launder the money through Zidane's.
Yeah.
Be like, £2,000 for this Nahari sounds reasonable.
I've got nothing else to say about this story, apart from the fact that I've written this down because this is a great Yasmin quote. She said that Zidane had the face of a fish and the brains of a beetle.
That's a bit rude.
It's a little bit, isn't it?
Why did she say that?
Because he does.
What about his hair?
She said, I want to insult you, but I can't. I've been told not to mention the hair.
Bring the hair up. He gets really funny about that.
So that's the end of this week. It was all right, really, wasn't it? As absolutely gutted I was with the whole Imran and Toyah split. It was clearly coming already, so I don't know whether I can blame this week. The fact that it was Abby, again, I'd predicted it. Does that make it any better? Not really. I think it's kind of ruined 2 characters, but I do believe that they could probably redeem them at some point, but I wish they didn't have to. I thought that the build up to the climax to this week coming into next week was actually quite good. Not so fussed on the Leo and Jenny stuff. Johnny was lovely. As Alahan's great. I'm going to go for 3.5 sliced off out of 5. What about you?
What is that to do with?
It was a conversation that some characters were having earlier in the week, and I can't remember who. Dev, maybe, was it?
I'm going to give it 3.5 pink princess palaces.
Nice.
My character of the week.
Oh, yes.
Maybe Toyah.
I was thinking Toyah.
She got so mad. You dirty, stupid pig.
I mean, as much as
the thing is,
it
the
can't
way
be
she
Imran,
said it, can
I
I just
enjoyed
say,
Imran.
My council estate southern accent transforms that into a very humdrum insult. Oh, you dirty, stupid pig. But the way that Toyah said it, I don't know, she had gravitas. She made it sound like the worst insult I've ever heard. She spat it at him. It was fantastic.
I can't give it to Abby because she wants to shoot somebody in the head, and I can't give it to Imran because he's dirty cheat, and I can't give it to... I could give it to Sabine, but she's just been standard great.
No, well,
Sabine.
she was naughty.
She was naughty. Johnny was great.
She's been told off at work.
I feel like if Johnny's gonna... next week, then maybe I should have given him character of the week now.
Maybe
as his last
Sabine's
chance.
going to shoot Imran.
What?
Because honestly,
she's pretty mad about losing all her cases.
But I don't think she was mad enough, really, because she seems very ambitious and cutthroat and focused on her job, like all these feminists. She has basically, her career's ruined now because this reputation is going to follow her forever, that she's been involved in underhand dealings. Is anyone never going to trust her? Would you have her on your case, knowing that she could potentially undermine months of work?
No, I would not.
I'd shoot Imran.
Okay. I'm fairly happy about going with Toyah, actually. Although she was a bit, short-sighted about the fact that maybe Harvey has got some friends who might come and rough her and Simon up.
No.
But I enjoyed. She made a damn good castle, and I enjoyed George's performance.
Fantastic work.
Yeah, 3.5 St George's all round.
Awesome. Right, listen. What are your final predictions for next week? Because people are going to want to know. What do you think?
It's so hard because of the things I already know. But there's so much. I really hope there's so much that I don't know, because I've really been trying hard to avoid it. I don't know how much is out there.
Right.
But I've been hearing people saying there's a lot of spoilers out there for next week, and I don't feel like I know a lot.
Right, listen. This is my prediction. Harvey escapes from prison. The sinkhole starts to make ominous creaking noises. Leo goes to fix it. Everything starts to kind of fall into it. Harvey turns up and he's like, "Where's Toyah Battersby?" Where's Corrie? I don't. This is the thing that's annoying me. How does Corrie and Nina and Abby? Abby's got a gun. She wants to shoot Corrie. Is Corrie going to come to Coronation Street?
Yeah, I don't know
that?
why Corey's there at the moment with all the sinkhole stuff. Which again, the fact that they're mentioning it makes it seem very ominous. I wonder whether maybe Leo gets in trouble and Johnny kind of goes to rescue him.
He jumps in front of the sinkhole.
Because he thinks that Leo and Jenny should be together forever. And
I don't think I'd throw myself in a sinkhole to save my ex-wife's boyfriend that she's known for a week.
He's a good northern solid chap. We have already established
That's true.
this.
A southerner would never do that.
And so maybe I don't know. It feels so much like Johnny's going to die next week.
Really disjointed. So Corrie, maybe like Nina's like, "Oh, let's throw a party for Corrie to say no hard feelings. Congratulations on Germany." And James is like, "Great idea, because football." And then they have it at the bistro, and the bistro's like, "Creak, creak." And Debbie's like, "Oh dear, I better phone Abby up and tell her that she can't have the wedding here." And Abby's like, "What do you mean can't have the wedding there?" It's like, "Well, we've got Corrie's party." She's like, "Corrie's party? I'm going to bring Gunny with me." And then she comes to shoot him. And then that's when everybody jumps in front of the gun.
I can't put it together. And also, during all of this, we haven't mentioned the Coronation Street stuff.
Yes!
Which is going to be...
That's going to fall in the
very
sinkhole.
Exciting. You got your... I don't remember what's on the poster for it now.
A big, scary clown.
Drury Lane.
Is it a coincidence that Imran was dressed up as a clown today, which you completely
I
didn't
completely
notice?
missed that. I was typing at my computer. I must have been. After the episode, you're like, "Yeah, I was dressed as a clown."
You said to me, "Isn't it a funny coincidence that something clown?" And I said, "No, it's not, because
I'd said that. Yeah, somebody had called Imran a clown, hadn't they?
Yeah, and I did a tweet about the clown. You said that was a funny coincidence. I said no, I tweeted that because he was literally in clown face paint with a red nose on. And you, because I say weird stuff like that to you all the time, you're like, what? No, he wasn't. And I was like, yes, he was. He was just a clown.
So we were all round back and we saw Imran as a clown.
Great job.
That's what's going to happen.
No,
then.
hang on. So Coronation Street is going to be where the brewery is.
There's going to be some dark. I guess Drury Lane bit is going to be.
And that's like parallel to.
That's behind the factory, isn't it?
Yeah, but isn't that also near David's house?
Yeah.
Which is where the sinkhole is.
Yes, it is.
So there's going to be a big like helter-skelter, and somebody like goes down the helter-skelter and they sort of vroom, up in the air and then straight into the hole.
The helter-skelter to hell.
That's just like when I used to play theme park. I used to make the rides and then people would die. And I mean, very good. I'd give that 10 out of 10. Coronation Street.
There's going to be some kind of skulking, like in a hall of mirrors or something with Harvey.
Well, that's how Harvey can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With his gun, he didn't know who to
shoot. And Abby's like, oh no.
Yeah, does Abby go into a hall of mirrors and shoot, but she thinks she's shooting Corrie, but
this is the trouble. There's too
herself.
many. There's two different stories going on about people wanting to kill each other.
Corrie is quite good at merging stories when it needs to.
And then you'll be like, oh, all these stories are going into one story.
But yeah, like we said earlier, by the time next week's podcast comes out, they're only going to be half done.
Because Natasha said, oh, I've bought me and Sam tickets to Coronation Street next week.
Oh, yes, she did. Oh.
She's going to die. Oh, how many people are going to die?
Right, more than one. Three
Corrie,
feels like too much.
Harvey and Natasha.
Either Corrie or Harvey. They've got to. One or the other. Maybe both. But then there's got to be a goodie that dies as well. But is there a disposable goodie like Natasha, and also an actual one that people? Because if at the end of the week it's only Corrie, Harvey and Natasha, even though that's three bodies, that still feels like a bit of a disappointment. But like I said earlier, most of my suspects are people that I do not want to die.
I know.
There's lots of other characters that I'd happily chuck in the sinkhole at the moment that I don't care one way or another whether they survive. But all of my suspects are like, no, I'm kind of favourites actually.
Maybe Ian McLeod's going to do a big old cull.
Maybe. I wonder whether
maybe there's going to be a load of characters going, what's in this sink? Ah! What's that noise coming from the sink? Ah!
I hope there's something spectacular because Ian McLeod came to Coronation Street with a Hotton bypass crash in Emmerdale as his like, look at me, I'm the stunt man, and we haven't really seen anything quite like that on Coronation Street.
But I wonder whether he was like, oh dear, I don't want to get a reputation as being the stunt man. But
he said last year, didn't he, like 12 months ago, he was saying, yeah, we were going to do a mega Hollywood style stunt for the 60th anniversary. Is this going to be it? Are we going to finally see what had originally supposed to have happened?
Why isn't Gary involved?
I don't know. Yeah, what is going on with Gary? Is he going to be, the curveball in this?
Is Gary going to be caught with Rick Neeland's body bag and over the sinkhole going...
Yeah, why hasn't he thrown Rick Neeland in the sinkhole so far? I assume it's just a bottomless pit.
Tell you what would be really cool, yeah. Like Mel's Hole. Put that on YouTube. Okay. I dare you. Maybe Leo is going to be... digging, and then Gary sort of comes along.
I don't dig because you just make the hole worse.
He doesn't strike me as very bright. And then Gary comes along like, hey, but you're doing the hut, just checking. And then Leo looks at him and goes, I know. I used to be what's his face's Rick's number 2. Ask Sharon, and he's there to retrieve the body, or he knows.
Yeah.
Maybe he's a wrong-un.
Maybe. And we did... I don't know. I don't know.
Maybe Leo gets shot.
I don't... So what with that?
And dies in the sinkhole.
So what?
Jenny would be sad.
Yeah.
And then Johnny's like, anyway, I'm going on holiday to see Kate. Bye-bye.
I think
maybe Kate comes home to see her good old dad
goes in the hole.
And falls in the sinkhole.
Do you think it's going to be a good week? Do you think we're going to be left happy with it? Are you expecting, or are you expecting to be let down?
No, now I'm worried.
I think I'm going to be...
I don't want.
I think I'm going to enjoy the razzmatazz of it.
I think
they're gonna do a good job with that. But I just know I've seen the list of characters that are involved. Some of the characters that are involved. Because
right, so do you remember the tram crash, which is obviously the biggest thing?
Yeah.
When was that?
2010.
Because I'm thinking back to that, right? Because that was like probably the benchmark against which all stunt weeks or groups of episodes should ever be judged, because it was fantastic. So many storylines came to a head then, so many different characters involved, lots of deaths. But I'm thinking back to that. So, what's her face died? Molly. Who else died?
Charlotte Hoyle.
Yeah.
And Ashley.
Ashley, that's right. And then also the tram driver, R.I.P.
No, I thought it was a taxi driver.
The tram driver?
He died as well, didn't he? Did he die? I can't remember.
Well,
anyway,
he's certainly very badly injured. Well, I don't remember coming out that week going, oh.
No.
But I do remember thinking, it's like how you do sometimes when a character dies that you don't really care about. And you're like, actually, it's quite sad. Oh, that's sad. I want to feel that. I don't want to be like, God damn it! I can't believe they killed insert name here, because they were my favourite character of all time.
If you could give a ranking of the top characters that you absolutely do not want to die, who would be on your list?
But this is going to be okay, right? Taking not
if any
into
of
account,
these characters die, there's no way that you can be completely happy with next week.
Right, so this is not taking into account anything that I know or don't know.
Mm.
So my characters that I would hate if they died would be Toyah, Imran, Jenny, Abby, Nina.
Yeah. I'm looking at who was in it this week, really. What would you hate?
Dev.
Yeah.
Ardy. Not Asha. I wouldn't. If she died, it'd be sad. But
I think you're right. I think Asha would be that's a shame. Well, why do they do that for?
Oh, that's sad. She had so much potential.
Yeah, exactly. But I wouldn't be like totally gutted. Would you haven't mentioned Johnny yet, have you?
I think if Johnny died, I'd be like, oh. But the thing is, like you said, I kind of felt like we've been letting him go gently.
Been letting him go.
Like a grandma, you just stop visiting. Yeah.
I think out of the main characters that have been in it this week, those are the main ones.
Who else would I really hate if they killed? Who else do I like? Those are like my top ones.
I think there's other characters that we like, but they're not in it at the moment,
but I mean,
so they're
like,
probably safe.
Say Debbie.
Don't kill Debbie.
Kevin, I would think, was quite funny if he died. Tyrone also, yes.
Kevin's just going to be running and then he face plants into the sinkhole.
The thing is, just thinking about Abby there, is that she is the hero of Weatherfield. Mm. If there was a collapsing and the Helter Skelter falls top first into the sinkhole, she will run into danger to save people.
Yeah.
Now, here would be a triggering moment. What if Corey's like having a bit of a kick around in David's garden and accidentally kicks his football in the sinkhole? It's like, I better go and get it. Falls in the hole. And then she'd be compelled to rescue him.
I don't think so, somehow.
Maybe her natural instincts would kick in. And then she'd sort of pull him out and then just shoot him in the head and he'd fall back down inside.
I feel like we have exhausted our speculation over this. I'm trying to think
if there's anyone else that I really, really like.
Yasmin.
Yes, Yasmin. I would hate that. Now, Alia and Zidane can fall in.
I think out of all the ones we've mentioned so far, I'd sacrifice Yasmin over a lot of those.
No.
I'm sorry to say.
I think those are my top favourite characters, and I'm maybe I'm forgetting. Like Mary, I don't know. I'd be sad if Mary died.
What about Leanne and Nick? What about Sam? What about? I can't think.
See, I put those on my mid-tier list of like, oh, that's sad.
Yeah.
Like, but then again, no matter who dies, it like...
What about Michael Bailey?
Yeah, I would actually. Oh no, Grace is in the hole.
What about if Chesney died? What about if the quads went in the sinkhole?
You just imagine like the very, very end of the week, right? The hole is smoking, there's bodies littered everywhere, and then Gemma comes along like, shh, Chesney, shut up. shut up. And then just sprays all the babies in her and runs away. And Frida's there furious.
What if it's Rita? We've had a few Rita scenes this week, haven't we?
I wouldn't cry. Audrey, if it was Audrey.
Ah, no.
Or I'd get mad then.
What if it was David or Shona?
Yes, that's right. David's my other favourite character.
Yeah.
I think I've exhausted my favourites now.
Okay.
Now, if Tim fell in.
What if Sally fell in?
I'll tell you what.
Falling, she's safe.
If the sinkhole's connected directly to hell and Tim fell in, he gets spat right back out again. Not having him in here.
We're done, Gemma.
Even Satan can't put up with Tim.
We have news to discuss this week, and I think it's time we moved on.
Please don't send us your predictions for the Super Soap Week,
no,
because I'm sure most of you know a lot more than we do about what's going to happen.
I still would put myself as like a 3 out of 10 out of how much I know. You said 2 earlier, didn't you? I
really don't. I have seen pictures, but I don't know what they were of, because I'm like.
I've not seen the trailer that's out, but I've seen a still from the trailer.
Yeah, but you've said things like, there's a trailer about this, and I didn't even know there were different trailers.
No, there were some little mini trailers.
Yeah,
I don't want to say anything.
Exactly. This is what I mean. You say things to me.
I don't want this to be one of those episodes of the podcast where people write in and say, you spoiled things. I don't think we've spoiled anything, have we?
How can we have spoiled anything?
I don't know. I think everything that we've said so far is a reasonable assumption.
I don't.
And it's not a spoiler. I hope it's not a spoiler to say that it's Super Soap Week next week.
No, well, there's nothing we can do about the fact that that's been information that's been released. But, for example, I'm assuming that it's to do with the sinkhole, because a man's turned up to fix the sinkhole, and all they've done this week is talk about the sinkhole. So I think it's a fairly obvious jump. I don't know if there is a sinkhole involved in it, but it would be stupid if it wasn't. Coronation Street, they've bigged that up. That's obviously involved.
And then there was the cliffhanger at the end of today's episode with Harvey.
Exactly. These aren't
and lots of people saying, "Hooray! The rest of my life's going to be fab."
Yeah,
that's a big clue.
Yeah, that is a big clue. I don't know whether
you thought you'd been settled there, Coronation Street, but we must move on.
Yes.
We must.
Yes.